Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you a preview for tomorrow's game versus Aston Villa with Charlie and Lillywhite Lane. But before we get in and ask the lads how they are, make sure you smash a like on the stream. Make sure you smash a subscribe on the channel. Also, get your super chats in and also grab a membership. I also want to welcome a few members. We have 16 today, which is absolutely phenomenal. We have Arthur Everett, Adam Fox, Spartan 7 Gaming, Jordan Stevens, Elliot Walsh, Wayne Bonner, Matthew Collins, Will Stewart, THFC Rants, Brian Daigle, Wayne Winter, Joe Grimes, Premier Hotspur TV, Wola Faladum, Danny Kiriako, Dolphins Cry, and Celery Agent. And let's welcome a few people to in the building as well. We have Everything Football, big up fan. We have Glenn MK4 says, come on, you Spurs. Mr. K says, hashtag, come on, you Spurs, hashtag Harris Army. The BG with the Harris Army as well. Big up the BG. We have Lillywhite Lane, who was in here early. Guys, smash the like button and get your super chats in before David even gets here. Big up Lillywhite Lane. Love the passion towards the channel, man. We have Tua Kippel. We have FFS Ref. We have Aglia Kakaratos. They say we have the 4th best scoring record in the league and the 5th best defensive record. So who's Tony Cascarino on TalkSport to pull out Lloris as an average keeper? He was an average striker, more like, yeah, no, look, Tony Cascarino, you know, failed English player, course capped by Ireland. You know, respect to him for what he done for Ireland, but I agree with you, he was average. Big up Tim Man 007. He says, Enoch out. Mr. Clay, glad I'm here listening to that panel on Chris's stream. Was painful. Reading the comments from deluded fans was even worse. How I hate elements of this club. No, look, I actually thoroughly enjoyed that stream, Mr. K. To be honest with you, I thought it was good. Big up Chris Cowland, by the way, an absolute gent of a man. You know, everyone get over there, check him out, although I already know you know who he is. But no, big up Mr. K as well. We have Ba Ebby. Please tell the difference between Mourinho, Klopp, and Pepe, and Pep. Mourinho is not having the backing that other managers is having. Pep spent almost 400 million only on defence. Saying to Klopp, yeah, fair point. Look, I agree. Ba Ebby and Mourinho need backing to fight to restore the order on the dressing room. Fully agree. Shepherd says, like and subscribe, spread the word. Harris Army, big up. Mario Escobar, David, thank you for being a supporter that analyzes with what you believe and not with what people like to hear. People follow you because you stay true to yourself. You are the M&M of football. Wow, brilliant comments. I absolutely love it. I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. I love a bit of positivity, my man. Big yourself up. Big up Emily Dunn. She says, big up the hashtag Harris Army. Rico Z99. The stream hasn't even started yet and they're already a gooner. Left a dislike. Yeah, no, look, but even the dislikes count, so it doesn't matter what they do. You know, just keep encouraging them to smash that dislike. I enjoy it, to be honest with you. I love a bit of football banter. Big up Dan N. Big up Dave. Love when you schedule these ahead of time. Makes it easier for us kids across the pond to tune in. Yeah, no, look, that is something that I've been well aware of that I need to be better at. And just for you, Dan M, I'm definitely going to improve, my man. We have Inot Nurse in the building. Big up Inot Nurse. Who else have we got here? There's loads of people. We have Jamie Killeen. We have Tua Kippel, Spartan 7 Gaming. Big up Spartan. Come on, lads. Yid Army. Of course, channel member there as well, Spartan. We have Neil Williams. We have Runa LB. We have Pierre Coys. We have Sue Smith. We have bed knobs and broomsticks. Big up everybody. Big up everybody. And like I said, everyone, make sure you get your super chats in. It really does help the channel grow as well. We have Raymond Simpson, 11 Simpson. Kaz need to shut up his mouth and mind his own business. Average Millwall player. That's about Cascarino. Fair point. Also, let's welcome Adam Fox to the building, channel member. Big up, Adam. Like I said, the link for channel memberships is in the description below, and it's in the chat at the very top. But let's welcome a few people. Let's welcome Charlie. Charlie, how are you keeping, my man?
Look, David, if I'm honest, I'm broken. I really am broken from what we've seen. Just a complete pathetic, spineless, serial losers that we've had to put up with the last 2 games. North London, to go and do that in a North London derby was disgraceful to the shirt, for the club. To go and do what you did, crash us out of the Europa League in the second leg against Zagreb. Was quite frankly unforgivable. That's the word I would use. Unforgivable. These play. We're going to get onto it in a minute, but just how I'm feeling, I can't be honest with you and say I'm good. I can't say I'm good like I normally do, because this club has just broken me completely, and we're in an absolute shower of shite at the moment. But look, David, as always, thank you so much for having me on your channel. Always a pleasure to be here.
No problem at all, Charlie. It's always a pleasure to have you, my man. Lillywhite Lane, Don Robbie. How are you keeping, brother?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Slowly but surely recovering from Thursday. But as I say, this will be sure to cheer me up being on your channel, David. As I say, it's an absolute pleasure coming on once again. So yeah, big up to you and Charlie as well.
100%, lads, and I do apologise. I get so many messages about getting people on and that. So, it's been a while, but thanks very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And everyone that's, if there's anyone that's tuning in that hasn't watched my stream yesterday, please go back and watch it on everything that's gone on at this club. It's my best one to date. Numbers don't lie as well. So make sure you check it out. A lot of people really enjoyed it. Well, I'll take on Nurse's question here quickly before we get into it. He says, if we lose tomorrow, what happens to Jose? Look, it's a hard one. Look, I think there's going to be massive numbers if we lose tomorrow calling for his sack. I think it's going to be very hard to not appease them, to be honest with you, or to not please them. I think he might lose his job, but my opinion is that looking at Daniel Levy and everything I dissected last night about him trying to get Mourinho to keep certain players to stay and what other certain players have said and stuff like this, I think he is. I think he's going to be here this summer. I think he's going to be here at the start of next season. That's just my opinion on the situation. Whether you agree or not, look, it's only my opinion. But big up in Nurse for the question.
David, as well, can I answer that question as well? Because I just want to give my take on this, because I've spoken very strongly for my time here on YouTube as well. And my personal opinion of it, how I see it, is a similar opinion to David in terms of, I think, in a perfect world, I would want to keep Jose on, back him to the full, give him all these players that he wants, give him the 50, 60 million pound players that will really take us to the top instantly, not a long-term project. And because that's not what Jose is. He's an instant manager that gets the ready-made, finished article players in for his team for the now, and he gets us to the top. That is what I want to happen. However, unfortunately, this is just my opinion anyway. I'm sure this will cause debate with David, as it always does. But unfortunately, the way this board are, we know we all disagree with it. We know that they're a poison to our club, this board. They're killing this club. They're ripping the soul out of it. And it's really hard to see. I think that personally, what's going to happen is Mourinho will be sacked, whether that's now or come the end of the season. I think eventually he will be sacked. I think whether we agree with it or not, I think that's what might happen. I think, what was I going to say as well? I think no matter what manager we have come the summer, we need to get rid of these poisons in our club, because as I was saying just then, these players are serial losers. They've given us some of the worst European nights in our history as a club. I can't think of many worse nights that including Thursday and other nights. You were 7-2 Bayern Munich, a couple others as well, which I can't think of. But this group of players have given us so many awful, awful memories. And I think no matter what happens in the summer, we need to clear out of all these players. I'm going to list all of them now. Dyer, Sissoko, Winks, Sanchez, Davies, Doherty, Aurier, because of his contract, maybe Lloris just because of his contract, and Lamella maybe as well, just because of his contract. But the poisons that I'm talking about, the likes of Sissoko, Sanchez, all these Winks, these guys, the likes of Sissoko, apparently this guy has a big influence on the dressing room. Well, if you've got a big influence on the when your dressing room influencer is Sissoko, you know you're an absolute disgrace of a club. You really do. When this flipping guy who can't even control a football, genuinely, this guy does not even know the basics of football. It is unbelievable.
Charlie,
When he's your dressing room influencer, you know you're in big trouble. And these are the sorts of players that need to go. These are the sorts of players that are the reason why we're out the Europa League, the reason why we haven't won anything for so long. And until these guys go, until we get rid of them, the manager, the role of the manager is kind of defeated in a way. It's sort of it defeats the object of the manager, because we need to get rid of these players. These players, as I see a comment there saying, these players are toxic, spineless players, and that's exactly how you would describe them. These guys are toxic. They're spineless. They got Poch sacked, and they're arguably very soon they're about to do the same with Jose. So for me,
so two of the best managers in world football, they're going to get the sack. That's some CV. But Robster says here, what happens if you get a new manager and the players are still shit from?
Well, literally, as I just said, right, it doesn't matter who the manager is come the summer. We need to get rid of these players. We need to get rid of them, no matter. Because for me, as I said, it's come to a point with Jose where I'm starting to question him a bit more than I was. I think it's come to a point now where losing 3-0 to Zagreb the way we did, you have to put some blame on the manager for not for just as I was saying on We Are Tottenham TV. I didn't see any passion from the manager during that game, which was slightly concerning for me. He looked like a dead man walking himself. He was just standing there with his hands in his pockets, just looking like a Muppet on the sidelines, not barking orders, not trying to change anything tactically. That's what it looked like to me anyway. He looked to me like a dead man walking. He really did. And I think when stuff like this happens, it's only going to end one way, unfortunately, in modern football. So for me, I think our only hope as well, as I was saying earlier, that Jose, we know he needs these big players to come in instantly, and that's exactly what I want to happen, what David wants as well. I want that to happen. I want Jose to stay and get backs. But unfortunately, the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards getting rid of Jose is because the only hope that we have as a club is to try and hit pot luck, which I don't want to be the case. I really don't want that to be the case, because at the end of the day, pot luck, you're only going to get it once in however many attempts. That's the problem. So the only hope we might have is to get rid of these players, getting a manager that's going to sort of bring in these younger players, develop them, and that's the only hope we've got. And personally, I don't want that to be the case. I want us to get rid of these players anyway, and stick with Jose and get his players in, get his big players in for the now. But unfortunately, with this poisonous board that we have in charge of our club, we know the situation with them. They've put us in this situation, giving contracts to players like Davies and Wink, keeping players on like Sissoko, not willing to take a loss on players, which is for me is an absolute disgrace. I just really don't know what the situation is, and unfortunately, I'm just not sure whether Jose is the type of manager that can help turn this around. But look, only time will tell, really. But whether we like it or not, my personal opinion on it is that I think he will be sacked eventually, and that's not me saying, "Oh, I really want him gone." Whatever, get out. I'm not saying that about Jose, but I'm saying that I just feel that what's going to happen is he will be sacked. Whether that's soon, whether that depends obviously on the Villa game and the next few games, or most likely at the end of the season if anything's going to happen. As a comment there says, Steve Hitchen is another one that needs to go. Everyone in this club needs a massive shakeout from top to bottom. And as I said, I think it is only a matter of time with Jose.
No, look, that's your opinion. It doesn't make sense that people want to get rid of Jose and then go down the route of hopefully getting another manager that can work with these players and go pot luck, because ultimately that's going to take longer than just giving Jose another transfer window.
Yeah,
and you're not talking about massive money. Like, you can look at the likes of Aston Villa. They nearly got relegated last season. They brought in Emil Martinez, not much money spent on that. Matty Cash, not much money spent there. Tyrone Mings, not much money spent there. They're now challenging for European spot. So I don't understand this route of wanting to go down for potluck when it's going to take longer than just giving Jose the money, a bit of money in the first place. This whole thing about Jose working with top-class squads, yeah, he's working with squads with top-class players in it, like there is with Tottenham, with Harry Kane and something like that. But, you know, you also go down the route. Matic was a mainstay in his midfield at Chelsea. McTominay, he brought in Højbjerg. You know, look how good Højbjerg has been most of the season. I do think the games have caught up on him, but look how good he was when he wasn't tired. You know what I mean? And the reason why Jose has played him is because clearly Winks and Sissoko can't be trusted. But big up Will Stewart, THSC rants, by the way. Everyone get over, check out his channel. Great channel. He says, I was trying to give you some ammo earlier, David, with Alex. No, look, I seen you on Chris Cowan's show. Don't worry about that, man. I was reading the comments as well. But look, everybody, get your say in, you know, in the comment section, have your opinion. And also get your super chats in, get the questions in. Lillywhite Lane, I'm going to give you your say on it. It's only fair. Charlie had his, I had mine. You have your say on it. And then we are going to move into a bit about the game.
Look, you can put Jose at fault, but if you're going to put Jose at fault, you also have to put the board at fault. You also have to put the recruitment staff at fault, our scouts such as Steve Hitchin. You also have to put our chairman at fault. There's a bigger issue with this club, and Hugo Lloris put it into fantastic words. He said it fantastically in that interview. There's a bigger issue that's beyond what goes on the pitch, and it's the lack of investment from this board, which is going to go and cost Jose Mourinho his job. Now, in my opinion, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You know, beforehand, I put most of the blame on the board. I still put a lot of the blame on the board. But there's no two ways about it in my mind right now. Jose Mourinho is not getting enough out of these players, if you ask me. I don't think he's getting enough out of these players. I can fully understand most of them are not good enough. As I say, the magnitude of the rebuild of this club is absolutely massive. And as much as it hurts, I think that's what we would need. I think that's what we will need. Now, we brought in Jose Mourinho for success, in my opinion. We brought him in to win trophies. We brought him in to bring silverware to this club. We're 2 seasons in. The second season's nearly done. We've been knocked out of the Europa League, knocked out of the FA Cup. Top 4 may still be on. I highly doubt it, though, and we're looking for a place in the Europa League. Now, in my opinion, that isn't progression at all. In my opinion, that's downgrading. Now, when you're downgrading and not even showing progression, that's when it gets to an all-time low for me. And, you know, Pochettino, in my opinion, had... Some would even say he had a worse squad, in my opinion. You know, the lack of investment was still there with Pochettino. Yeah, he takes his team to top 4. And in my opinion, Jose Mourinho, he has 2 seasons. Yes, 2 seasons isn't enough to fully work with your team. But it's getting to a point where he doesn't know his best 11 still to this day. 2 years into his job as Tottenham Hotspur manager, he still does not know his best 11. And in my opinion, you know, I think the magnitude of the rebuild of this club is one that Jose Mourinho cannot bring anymore. I honestly do believe that. And I put the board at fault for this. A lot of it down to the board for not investing in him. But in my opinion, we may have to start looking at a project. We may have to start looking at something which may go on for 4 or 5 years. And I hope it doesn't go down that road. I really don't want it to. But for me, it's either you keep Jose, you back him in the summer properly, and we see what happens next season. Or we sack Jose Mourinho in the summer and we look for a project. Both are possible. But in my opinion, we are really going to have to wait and see what happens in the situation with Jose. But as I say, you know, currently I think Jose's to blame. I think the board's to blame. I think the chairman. I think the recruitment staff. There's a major issue with this club, in my opinion.
I just think, look, you know, fair points there. Look, the comment about him not knowing his first 11, his best 11, look, you know, when you've only your best 9, you have to play players in and out that are on form to fill them other 2 spots, right back, centre back in beside Toby. Look, ultimately, Pochettino, you can say he worked with these players, but in my opinion, when his prime squad went Walker, Rose, Dembele, Wanyama, and he had to start relying on like Sissoko, Winks, Davies a hell of a lot more, bringing in Aurier and stuff like that. Ultimately, he ended up getting the sack. The problem is this core group of players at the club. Now, look, we can sack Jose and go through a 5-year rebuild, or we can just give him more money in the summer. And, you know, look, we've been on the cusp this year. I get it's been disappointing, and ultimately we've tailed off. But we've been on the cusp. Now, imagine if we had better defenders this season. Imagine what we would have achieved. So my opinion is he's the best. People, even Jose Outer, say he's the best defensive coach in the world. Why wouldn't you give Jose Mourinho the money to rebuild your defence then?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a less painful rebuild on that. But Charlie, I just want to move on because I don't want to be spending too much time on it because I went through a lot of it yesterday. Tin Man 007 says here. Actually, no, go on. Have your say, and then I'll take. I'll just take Super Chat. I'll let you have your reply, and then we'll move on. Tin Man 007. Poch was warning the board that we needed a rebuild 2 years ago. Oh, by the way, the players that started versus Zagreb, Rob Poch players, 100%. Something I alluded to in my stream. Look, people are saying a Nagelsmann, but ultimately, like I said last night, you take the points from that November, the Champions League run when our league form turned under Pochettino, to the November when he got sacked. If that was one season, we would have got relegated. Now, the reason, Poch didn't change. Poch doesn't change his system. He doesn't change it. So ultimately, if people that say Nagelsmann and Rodgers, I don't believe in it, and I don't think they're thinking with their football hat on, because if they're not going to change the way and they have to work with these group of players that Mourinho's working with now, well, the form is the evidence is there with a manager that doesn't change his way. So look, I definitely don't think they're the answer anyway. I do think definitely rotating the squad is the main answer. For me, it's the only answer, to be honest with you. But Tim, man, I definitely agree with you. Big up for the super 100%. Chat as well, man. Really, really do appreciate it. And welcome Danny Kiriakou as well here. We have Tommy G as well. We have loads. Paul Scaraphile. We have Mario Escobar. Big up, everybody. We've loads of people in the building Tommy. Here. Tommy, we have Anthony Gray. The toxic players at Tottenham, they didn't put in for Poch at the end, and they're doing it to Jose now. Get rid of the toxic players, replace them with Jose choices, and then see what happens. Yeah, no, that's a fair statement, Anthony Gray. Fully agree with you. But no, look, lads, we're going to get into it now. And like I said, everybody, make sure you do get your super chats in as well. It really does help take this channel to the next level and help give me time to produce streams like I did last night. So look, everything you need to know, lads. Look, it's away at Villa Park. It's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. You can watch this game on Sky Sports, or you can watch the game on the Matty Hayes Watch Along channel from 6:15 p.m. We always go an hour and 15 before kickoff. Of course, with lineouts being an hour before the game. So make sure you tune in for the Matty Hayes Watch Along, which I know all of you do as well. But look, what's at play for tomorrow's game? There's a lot at play. So for us, we're 8th, right? And I know Arsenal are playing West Ham, but if Arsenal, regardless whether West Ham win or lose, we're still going to be 3 points off top 4 if we win, regardless of their result, because they're just going to be level with Chelsea. They're just still going to be sitting in 5th. We're going to be in 6th. But if they lose, we can go to 5th. We'll be 3 points outside of the top 4. So it's a massive chance to put our name in the mix for top 4 and put the pressure on. We go to you first, Charlie. Do you think we're capable?
Honestly, with these players, with these bunch of players, despite whether look, at the end of the day, right, we know that the players that played on Thursday, a lot of them will be taken out of the team for the game against Villa tomorrow. But at the end of the day, right, my fear is that these players have a bad influence on as a collective even on the top players. They have a bad influence on them, and it just creates a toxic smell in the club, which just overshadows any sort of players which are capable and want to be here. That's my worry, that these players are just creating a poisonous smell that's just completely outlasting everything else. And I think, honestly, I don't think we're capable of going on a run. Look, if we win tomorrow, then maybe. It depends how we play. But if we end up losing tomorrow, then I think it really is curtains for us of any glimmer of hope of top 4. Because at the moment, top 4 is hanging by a thread. Literally, top 4 is literally hanging like this by a thread. It really is a must win at the end of the day tomorrow. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I just don't think that we're good enough to be in the top 4. Look at the teams in the top 4 now. Man City are going to win the league. They're just an unbelievable team. Man United are better than us. Leicester are better than us. Chelsea Tuchel, the way they've been going, they're better than us. So these teams are better than us, and that's why I don't see us getting in the top four, because whenever we come up against a team in the top half, we crumble. Whenever a team presses us the slightest bit, we crumble. Whenever we go a goal down, we crumble. And that's what I've been trying to tell everyone for a long time now, that with this team, with these serial losers, right, this happened under Poch as well. There's a common pattern which I've been trying to say on YouTube for so long now, that whenever we go a goal down, how many times do we end up losing? Like, you look at it, I'll start with the occasions under Poch. You look at Newcastle at home, Ajax in the first leg at home, multiple other times. I think City at home as well. Other time, I'm just trying to think. There's many occasions, other games where we drawn, like Arsenal at home that time at Wembley. Even this year as well, you look at it, as I said, Everton at home on the opening day, Chelsea at home in February. There's just so many examples of this, going a goal down and not responding and crumbling. And that's why I don't trust these players. And as I said, yes, some of them will be taken out of the team. Like, you probably won't see the likes of Sissoko, Winks starting tomorrow. But at the end of the day, these guys are having an overall bad influence on the dressing room, on the key players. They're making them just sort of think, like, why do I bother? Like, someone like Harry Kane, he's probably thinking, like, why do I bother at the end? Why do I bother doing it when these guys are just poison, they're toxic, and they're just making this club unbearable for these top players. So that's my worry.
Then they could also be thinking the other way, that, you know, now that there's only going to be one game a week, that the 11 players that Jose Mourinho trusts are going to be out there, and that they love the club too much and are going to fight for the club and not just give in to the likes of Winks and Sissoko, because ultimately that's what Lloris and Harry Kane's post on Twitter and all, that's what they're coming out doing. They're coming out fighting for the club. Look, I can get we're disappointed, but we still can't not back the team and try and stay positive. It's important we try. You know what I mean? I can get the disappointment. I'm as disappointed as anybody. Believe me, everyone's seen my face Thursday night when we went out. It's all over there. Everyone can see it. I'm just as disappointed as everyone else. But we still have to try and remain positive and keep our calm heads on and analyse things properly throughout till the end of the season. Because, look, when we got knocked out in the last 16 last season in the Champions League, our league form, everyone had us written off. It was dramatically improved. And bar one game, we would have made that top four. Bar one game.
Well,
now, I
do think the same.
I do think the same. Huh?
We were 6 points off last season. We finished.
Yeah, but that last game against Bournemouth there was nothing riding on it. But if we would have won that game, we would have went into that game with Bournemouth with something to play. So realistically, it is one game, because that game against Bournemouth was a dead rubber. But you're after making me lose my train of thought now, lad. Yeah, no, we'll just move on, lad. But I'll take this comment here from Zain Kassim. Wanting to sack Jose is like expecting Lewis Hamilton to win a Grand Prix with a Beetle, and then you blame the driver because he can't get the best out of the car. Fair comment. We have a super chat here from Dan N. If Villa smokes us tomorrow and Jose gets sacked Monday, who even wants to come in? Allegri, how? A top man like Nagelsmann looks unlikely with Spurs. Look, this is what I'm saying. You know, people can sit there and say Jose out and have these, you know, Rodgers and Nagelsmann and this and that. But if you're Nagelsmann, right, your dream job is to end up at the top echelons of football. Are you really going to come to Tottenham and stake your reputation there? I really don't think so. I think you're going to be looking lower than Rodgers and Nagelsmann again. You know, and that's the thing. This is the thing. You know, you have to take these things into account. You can't just say, "Oh, get out Jose Mourinho and go with an idyllic target." You have to have something that actually, like, you know, is achievable. Nagelsmann's not going to look at Tottenham and want to come. Nagelsmann is the best scouting department behind him in the world.
About Nagelsmann as well, what we're hearing is, apparently, according to reports, he is open to the job if it does come available. That's what we're hearing. According to like Matt Law, these reliable sources, Nagelsmann is said to be open to joining Tottenham if the job does become available. So that's just to clear that up, in case anyone thought differently.
No, look, you know, they were banded around, but ultimately, I genuinely don't think you're going to see Nagelsmann come. I really don't. You know, we all see names banded around. We all see links, and very rarely any of them are true. Brian Daigle, good evening, everyone. How are we all doing tonight? Tomorrow really is do or die for us. for the season and the player's career, please turn up. Yeah, 100%. Look, Harry Kane put out a Twitter post. So I'm expecting these players to turn up, judging off that post, but Lamela done it during the week. So, look, Brian, we'll wait and see. But I agree with you. Tomorrow is a massive, massive game. But Lillywhite Lane, we'll pass it over to you, man. Do you think we have a chance making top 4?
It's one of those seasons where anyone has a chance. Anyone in the top 9 teams, in my opinion, has a chance in making top 4. This time last season, we were on this many points. We're nowhere near top 4. But it's one of those seasons where all the top teams are slipping up. And I definitely believe we do have a chance to get in top 4. It is going to be very tough. You've got to remember that. Because you look at the sides in the top 4 right now. City, obviously, going to go on to win the league. For me, second place, United, without a doubt, we're going to get that. The places we're going to be fighting for are 3rd and 4th. Now, in my opinion, Chelsea are going to get 3rd. So 4th place is all between, in my opinion, the likes of Leicester, Tottenham, Liverpool, West Ham. Some would even argue Villa. But as I say, Everton. That's what the 4th place is for, in my opinion. I honestly believe it is possible. It is possible. Now, like you say, David, it's one of those seasons where anything can happen, in my opinion, no matter how bad our form is. And like you say, one game a week, a lot more resting time. You have to remember our fixture schedule, and I'm not going to complain about it, and I'm not going to put our recent performances down to the amount of fixtures we've had to play, because that's ridiculous. But we've been playing like in December and January and February. We were playing about 3 games a week, right? 3 games a week. We've played 3 games a week. It's normally Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, right? 3 games a week. Now, no matter what club you are, whether you're Barcelona, Real Madrid or Tottenham Hotspur, you are going to tend to struggle. And the performances recently, they haven't been acceptable. Jose's tactics haven't been acceptable. But you have to look at the season and see you can't write it off. You can't write it off, in my opinion. Europa League was our main priority. Europa League was definitely something we really were going for this season, and we haven't achieved that. But in my opinion, we're in a final, right? We're going to Wembley in April. Nothing can change that. We're going to Wembley. It's a one-off game. We can win that. I honestly believe we can. And top 4 this season, without a doubt, it's possible. The way this season's going, without a doubt, it's possible. Should we be in the race for top 4? Our recent form, no way. But how many times have we heard this season top 4's over? Brighton 1-0, top 4's over, all the Spurs fans said. Liverpool 3-1, top 4's over, all the Spurs fans said. I honestly believe it is one of those seasons where we can fight for top 4. But as I say, those are my thoughts and opinions. I'll hand it back to you, David.
Yeah, no, look, 100%. Look, everyone, everyone has their own opinions. We have Jay Chapman. He says, look, let Charlie speak. I know nothing about football. There's a lot of different comments in there. Everyone, look, I know it's tough times. Look, we'll try and be respectful. What I'll say, Jay Chapman, if you say I don't know about football, go back and look at my stream last night. I think it'll make a lot of sense. I think you understand I do know a lot about football, but look, I don't have to justify it to you. You are only one person. At the end of the day, the numbers and that on my streams and everything else don't lie. That's just your opinion, and that's my opinion. The Villa are 4 points behind us, sitting in 9th, and they are 5 points off top 6, which is Europa League spot. So they will be looking to close that gap and have European ambitions of their own as well, lads. Do you think that Villa could potentially make a Europa League, Charlie?
I think they were in contention for a lot of the season, but I just think recently with, obviously, look, Jack Grealish, he's their mainstay. He's been a massive, massive part of them this season. Absolutely brilliant player. I really, really do like Grealish. Obviously, again, another player this board managed to mess up and not sign. But look, I think recently they have deteriorated a bit, Villa, mainly because they've just lacked so much creativity without Grealish. And I think with him, it's looking like he will be out for tomorrow, which could help us, which could be a massive boost for us with him being out, because it could give us a chance of getting something. But look, I'm not sure. I think Villa, I think they'll, if you told them at the start of the season, considering they nearly got relegated last season, they only survived by a goal which clearly crossed the line when it really didn't against Sheffield United. When it did cross the line, but it was obviously not given. But look, Villa, they've improved a lot this season. They made some great signings. You look at Martinez, the goalkeeper, who was Arsenal's best goalkeeper, that they were very stupid to sell. Look at the centre-backs, Mings and Konza, 2 players which I'd actually take at Spurs in a heartbeat. You look at the right-back, Matt Cash as well, good right-back there. And then you've got other players in midfield, workhorses in that midfield, the likes of John McGinn, but proper box-to-box player. But yeah, box-to-box, always everywhere, always plays with his heart on his sleeve. And then look, their forward line, obviously Ollie Watkins as well. Good goal scorer, although he has gone off the boil a bit lately. He is still a definite threat for them. But obviously, look, Jack Grealish makes them click. He makes their team click. And without him, they really, really do struggle for creativity. But on the flip side, they are a difficult team to break down. They're very hard to beat. Dean Smith, who obviously nearly got the sack last season, he's made them very solid this season, very difficult to beat. So this will be a tough game, and considering where we have been at the moment, I'm dreading. I am dreading the game tomorrow. I'm dreading anyone we play, because we were hoping for a reaction after that absolutely disgraceful North London derby, and if they can't get up for a North London derby, and then they're going to do that against Zagreb, just knock us out of the Europa League.
Look, we'll stay on the Villa thing at the minute, Charlie.
No, I am. I was gonna move on to the Villa thing now. I'm very worried for what we're going to get served up against Villa, because you saw the last time we had a humiliation in Europe against Bayern. What did we go and do the next game? Just go and get absolutely spanked by Brighton, who aren't even that good of a team. So I fear that we're going to see something like that again. I really, really do fear that, because at the end of the day, this team's spineless. These players have no bottle whatsoever. So I'm worried. Even with Villa without Grealish, I think I'm still worried. I'll be worried for any. It doesn't matter who we're playing tomorrow. I'm worried about this team's mentality, because it really, really is rock bottom. But look, as I said, Villa, I think they're definitely still technically they are in the mix, but I think they'll comfortable. I think they'll finish top half, Villa. I think they'll probably be happy with that, considering where they were last season. But look, they've got some good players, Villa, and I
remember. I think it was to you, Charlie. I think it was on one of our Premier League prediction shows. I did tip them for maybe a Europa League push.
Yeah, you did. I believe so.
I just want to address Jay Chapman's comment here. He says, I never said you, David. No, sorry, look, it's just misconstrued then, because as soon as I finished talking, I seen it and I thought it was about me. So, fair play. Sorry about that.
Oh, my God. Wait, David, sorry. This guy says I'm a gooner.
No. I'm going to get on to this for a second.
Look,
just what I do say, just what I do want to say, Jay, is...
We've got the sign up there.
I'll get onto that in a second. Jay, what I do want to say is, look, of course you can have your say, but look, I do want everyone to be respectful to everyone on the panel. Look, whether it's Josie in, Josie out, we're all Spurs fans, and we all need to be nice to each other. Marcelo says, smash the like, 100%. Big up, Marcelo, by the way. Someone else asked where he was. I think he's working all weekend as well. So, but also, look, these guys have been asking me for a while again to get back on, and I've been having a load of people, so I had to get the boys back on as well, because I do miss them as well. Bob Spur TV, everyone get over and check out Bob Spur TV. Good channel as well, and a good man. Big up Bob Spur. We have a couple of super chats I need to run through here first. We have Celery Agent. I gave up smoking, so I had extra dollars to become a David Harris member, a Matty Hayes member. That's commitment. Something Daniel Levy and their players will never get. Yep, big up Celery Agent.
Come on,
absolutely love it, man. I absolutely love it. Marcelo says, David, you should make me a mod, and anyone disrespect me. No, look, look, I'll just take people disrespect me. It is what it is. Look, it's the name and game of the social media. It happens this day and age, But no, I definitely have to make people a mod. And Marcelo, you're definitely going to be one of them, my man. We have Dan N. He says bookies have Spurs as 7-1 to make top 4. Not good. Dan N, by that comment, I guess you're a betting man. You know what I mean? I'm one of these people. If I do have a sneaky bet, I like to try and beat the bookies, and I bet against the odds. So if I was in your position, I definitely throw a sneaky few bob on Tottenham to make that top 4. Just because I love going against the bookies. Lads, the super chats are flying in here. Sorry, Lillywhite Lane, Don Robbie, we will get to you now in 1 minute. I just have to grab these super chats here. We have Will Stewart, THFC rants. He says, now's not the time to form camps internally. David is a class act. Charlie's a class act. Robbie's a class act, as well as Marcelo. Stay strong, stay Spurs. Well said, Mr. Stewart. Absolutely love it. Like I said, everybody get over, check out his channel. Great concept, great idea. Really hope it takes off for the guy as well. And I love his his outro line. This is his new tagline as well. Stay strong, stay Spurs. Brilliant. We have Tin Man 007. If you think it's bad now, imagine if that lot down the road win the Europa League and finish above us. Think we will lose tomorrow, in my opinion. Oh man, Tin Man. Oh man, if that happens, I'm going to hit. Look, it's going to be very depressing times. You know, I can't have that happen. Look, none of us can. Whether you're Josie in, Josie out, Enoch in, Enoch out. That is going to be absolutely unbearable. We have Emily Dunn, another great stream. Hashtag Harris Army, keep it up. Thank you so much, Emily Dunn, a true supporter of the channel. Bosspur TV channel member, my man Bob, big up. Like I did say, lads, channel calling show will be kicking off next week, and it's a show where you come on and we talk about what you want to talk about, not what I want to talk about. It's not about me. It's about you guys coming on and talking about what you want to talk about. Even if I don't agree with it, we're going to talk about it. That's how good this show is going to be. We have Jesus. 1 second, lads. Brian Ireland quickly. He says, "What's up, lads? Do you think we'll see a response tomorrow?" Look, well, judging by Harry Kane's media post, Brian, that's supposedly what we're due to expect. We were told that by Lamella. Now, whether that happens or not, we just don't know. We just don't know, unfortunately. Paul Brown here says, "Opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. At the end of the day, come on, you Spurs, please show up and perform." Yeah, 100%. Look, we do. We badly need them to show up and perform. And I agree with you. You know, look, we want this response. It's absolutely massive that we get this response. But Lillywhite Lane, sorry that it took so long. The super chats and everything else are flying in here. But what's your opinion on Aston Villa? Let's get back to it. On Aston Villa, do you think potentially there is a chance, especially if Grealish can come back in?
Look, my best mate's actually an Aston Villa fan, so I do know quite a bit about them. And honestly, if Jack Grealish is back in, you know, it's definitely a massive threat to us. It's definitely a massive threat to us. And they have some fantastic players in their team, the likes of Konza, Mings, Cash, Ollie Watkins, a player from Brentford, you know, who they bought in, who barely anyone knew about. They bought him in, and he's absolutely excelling. You even got the likes of El Ghazi on the bench, you know, a really, really pacey winger, as I say. You know, they've got some very, very good players, and their style of play tends to really impress me. Very fast build up the pitch, as I say, constantly press high, you know, and very, very direct in the middle of the pitch, as I say, and their playing style is very, very impressive. So nothing but praise for Aston Villa. But as I say, you know, it'd be massive for them if they can pick up 3 points. And this is what makes these games so much more interesting, is when both teams have something to play for. We're fighting for top 4 in European football, and we still have the Carabao Cup to fight for, right? They're fighting for European football still. They still somehow believe they can get, you know, Europa League football. It'd be absolutely brilliant if they could, because Villa are a team that I respect. So, as I say, I'm really, really looking forward to this game. I'm just really hoping these players can turn up from a Tottenham Hotspur standpoint. I think we need to press them high. As I say, we cannot sit back against a side like Villa, because you've seen before, against a side like Villa, you cannot sit back, because they will press and press and press, and they are so clinical, so clinical. Arsenal sat back against them earlier in the season. They got absolutely thrashed 3-0. You know, Liverpool sat back against them. They lost 7-2, 7 goals to 2. People seem to forget that. So, you know, Aston Villa, Dean Smith and his group of players have given Villa fans moments they'll remember for the rest of their life. I'm just really hoping they don't create another one tomorrow against Tottenham Hotspur. But as I say, you know, looking in very, very direct style of play, we must press them high in this game. And as I say, it's big for Tottenham Hotspur. It's big if we do want to make this top 4 push in this Europa League push. And as I say, you know, I did a match preview earlier today on my channel, and I titled it Jose's Job on the Line, because that's what I honestly do believe this game is. If we lose by more than 2 goals, in my opinion, within next week, Jose will be getting the sack. Do
you even think a draw, Robbie? Do you even think a draw that it might cost him his job?
Well, it depends what way. It depends what way you draw, in my opinion. A 0-0, I don't think would cost him his job. A 1-0, probably, because it's the way that you draw games. And this is the issue with Tottenham Hotspur recently. It's the way that you lose games. If we lost that North London derby and put up a fight, right? Of course, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to hurt as much as if we put in a bad performance. And in my opinion, it's all about the performance tomorrow. 3 points is a must, as I say, but we must turn up, we must perform, and we must play expressive. If we lose 4-3 tomorrow, of course we'll be frustrated. Of course I'll come on here and be frustrated and talk about my thoughts and opinions on it. But I wouldn't be as frustrated if we sit back, play negative football and lose 1 or 2-0, as I say, because that's what they do, Villa. You know, they tend to keep a lot of clean sheets as well. And we just need to stay, you know. We just need to stay positive at the back. And as I say, you know, we need to press. We need to keep our midfield and defensive line together. But as I say, you know, a draw for me isn't good enough tomorrow. Of course, I don't think a draw will cost him his job. But I don't think a draw is good enough. You know, it's definitely not good enough. A loss, without doubt, isn't good enough. And if we want to, you know, really put in a performance, I'm expecting a 3 or 4-0 tomorrow. Yeah. That's what I want. And if I see that, then I'll see, okay, you can do more of those performances. I'll begin to forgive you. You know, that's the main thing tomorrow. The performance we put in, the way we set up, and we just need to play clinical. We need to play clinical, and guys say we need to press them high like it's worked. So, you know, really, really looking forward to this game. It should be an interesting one. But in response to your question there, David, a draw could cost Jose Mourinho's job. I honestly think his job is on the line tomorrow. That's what makes this game so big.
Yeah, 100%. Charlie, I believe you have to go. I just put up the super chat before you have to go. And we all echo the sentiments to the BG. We want you to get back out with more content on your channel, Charlie. He says we really missed you on streams. Cheers, Charlie. Big up. Charlie, honestly, we all do want to see you back, man. What's going on? And look, I firmly believe you're going to be back, and I want you to plug your channel to put pressure on you to come back as well. So give your channel a plug. And also, before, if you pop off, I did see Marcelo saying he is actually at home. So if you want to send him on the link and he can pop on as well.
All right. Cheers, David. Cheers. Big up the BG as well. Love that super chat there. Cheers, guys.
But give your channel a plug, Charlie, before you go, man.
Yeah, so Charlie THFC, of course, trying to get out Tottenham content as soon as possible. At the moment, I haven't been able to do that, but I will be back eventually. Don't worry, I will be back, and hopefully that will be sooner rather than later. So yeah, cheers Van Beyond as always, David. Make sure you subscribe to the Irish Hotspur as always, and yeah, and as always, come on you Spurs, Tottenham through and through. Hopefully things can get better very soon. Fingers crossed.
I can see you're really depleted, Charlie.
I am
really depleted. It's not nice to see. And look, I really do hope that we can get the win for you tomorrow. You know, I want to see you back doing your content. I want to see you back with the smile on your face. What I will say, it's Tottenham Hotspur, Charlie. We're in for a long 50, 60 years of supporting this club yet. There's going to be many highs and lows. You know, so look, please come back with your channel. I really do want to see you back with your channel. And I'm sure so many other people do as well, Charlie. But look, it was good to see your face again. And hopefully I can get you on again tomorrow, man.
100%. Yeah, I'll be on as always. Yeah, cheers as always, David. I'll see you guys soon. Lily White Lane as well. Good to always talk to you as well. So yeah, cheers guys. I'll see you soon.
100%. Charlie, will you send Marcelo on the link there?
Yeah, I will do. Cheers, guys.
Sound. Right, see you, Charlie. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
We have Spurs debate here. He says, big up, lads. Good to see the young lads firing on all cylinders. Yeah, 100%. And big up Spurs debate. Big up Josh as well. Everyone get over and check out Spurs debate. His subscribers are climbing. I keep an eye. Big up, Josh. We have a couple more things to get through. Marcelo says here, press the join button and then become a channel member. Big up, Marcelo. As always, a general of the Harris Army, my guy. We have a couple more things to get to here. Yeah, we got the BG's comment echoing that we want Charlie back 100%. Everyone put in the comment section, you know, show Charlie your support as well. We have Kieran McDonald, new channel member. Big up, Kieran. Welcome to the Harris Army, my man. Absolute legend. We have a super chat here from Brian Daigle. If we get rid of Jose, and it's a big if, don't sack him until after the Carabao Cup final. If we do it then, it will show Levy up for the idiot he is. Hope to be back on your show ASAP. No, 100%, Brian. Look, honestly, 100% I'm going to get you back on. There's so many people that I have to get in contact with over the next little while. So many people that I promised I'd bring on as well. So 100%, Brian, look, you know, I send you voice clips and everything else. You know, I haven't forgotten about you, man. You know that. But no, big up. I fully agree with your comment there. Here he is. Everyone give a big welcome to Marcelo. The guy is here. He's here, man. Everyone give a big welcome to Marcelo. Marcelo, how are you keeping? Oh, we can't hear you, lad.
I'm not good. Not good. I've been really sad, man. Spurs has got me down, bro. Like all my years supporting this club, the 5-1 to, Newcastle, like the, Battle of the Bridge, the Champions League final. All of those never broke my spirit except for this last year, man. I'm a broken man after this, man. Like I cannot, like, honestly, you know me, David. Like we've been through some tough shit, man, and we still always try to be optimistic, saying we're gonna win the league, we can win this, we can do it, have faith. I can't have any faith. Can't have any faith at these players anymore, man. They let me down way too many times.
100%. I get what you're saying, but Marcelo, look, this is why I'm here. Look, I know it's hard. I just want to try and pick everyone back up. Look, I'm going to say the same to Charlie, or what I said to Charlie to you, Marcelo. Look, I know it's hard. Look, my fate is being questioned at the moment as well, in what's going on at Tottenham at the minute and stuff like that, in terms of the players and everything else. But ultimately, I want to try and believe it's the only thing we have to cling on to right now. So look,
but
I do think things are going to get worse. But while you have the faith to cling on to, Marcelo, I honestly encourage you to grab it with both hands.
But I would say this, David. After that Dynamo, like, disgrace, right? You are a fan, right? That go every day believing in the squad, backing these players. You and I, we both back the players in games where we're very unlikely to win, but we still back the squad. Talk, smack. We bigged up the crest. We did everything, and then it's just like they just let us down, man. Just let us down so much, and it's just like they don't deserve your support, David. They don't deserve you as a fan. They don't deserve Lillywhite. They don't deserve me. They don't deserve that type of support. And I came to the conclusion that I'm not going to give it to them. I'm really not. If I think we can win, I'll say we can win. But if I'm not gonna big them up. I'm not gonna talk shit on Twitter anymore. I'm not gonna, like, honestly, I have Aston Villa fans saying we're gonna smash you. I'm like, yeah, you probably will. You know what? I even said it. Yeah, you probably will. You will probably smash us, because knowing these players, they won't bounce back from this. If anything, they'll mentally break from this. They'll even put in a more shocking performance. We thought they would go back, against the Arsenal game, but they didn't. And listen, my opinion on Jose. If you want me to explain it, why I think he's done, I can. But
no, go on. If you want to have your say, but I don't want to spend too long on it because
I know
we already spoke about it at the start, and I do want to get through some more stuff. I'm so far behind. I do have a lot to get through. No, everyone deserves to say and go on and speak your mind, Marcelo.
Yeah, no, look, from my reasoning with Jose is, one, he looks finished. I don't know if you saw the presser. I don't know if you've seen him recently. He looks like a complete he looks like a guy that's just on his last rope. It almost looks like Pochettino. Honestly, it almost looks like Pochettino. And this is what this board does to you, David. It breaks you. They break managers down. It's just that Pochettino was able to deal with it for 4 years. You're just able to deal with it. And Jose has gotten to a stage in his career, right, where he's not looking to just get the best out of players. He needs world-class players. He's at a stage of career where he comes into a club and, he needs world-class players. He can't, like, he just needs, he can't do another Porto job. He can't do another Inter job. He's just, when you get older, it's just like, it's just tougher to do that. And I just think we'll never give him that type of quality, the quality that he needs. We'll never give him that type of quality that he needs. So we need a manager that, in my opinion, can somehow be flexible with this board and somehow get the best out of what he has. And I just don't see that in Jose. And rightfully so, bro. He doesn't deserve that. No manager deserves to deal with this, man. But, like, I just think it is what it is. I think he's broken. I think he's just done at this club. I think he's had his last legs. And the fact that he also lost their dressing room in 1 year, we say, oh yeah, but these players got Poch sacked, but also at the same time, that was after, a lot of these players spent 5 years with Poch, like, and they already dislike Jose in 1 year, it's just. And when you lose most of the dressing room, and I know there's some players saying, "Oh yeah, we still play for the manager" and stuff like that. I doubt it. I think honestly, from what I've seen, from the energy that I've seen, I think 80% of these players want him out. I think 80%. I think the only ones that want to keep him in is maybe Kane, Son, and maybe Hugo. Like honestly, like I
Regular.
yeah, Højbjerg maybe, Højbjerg and
Toby
Regulon.
Alderweireld.
I know. I think he also wants him out.
He did say he signed a new contract because he wanted to work with Jordan.
Yeah. But that was then, and I think he's at it. I think honestly, I really think 80% of these players want him out. David, you can say this, you can say that, but at the end of the day, the performances speak for themselves. And the only one I see running for him are those players you mentioned. I don't see anybody else running for him. They look.
I can get what you're saying. That's performances speak for themselves. But we were also, I know it's 2 games, it's big games. We've seen time and time again players battle big games at Tottenham. But we were also on a 5-game winning streak. So I wouldn't exactly say that performances speak for themselves. Look, the way this squad is, we could very well go out and win 4-0 tomorrow. The way this team is. Do you know, I literally wouldn't be surprised. And then go and lose to Newcastle. I would not be surprised. That's the way this club is. But no, look, each to their own. That's your opinion. That's fair enough. But we both know, look, I don't agree with it. But look, that's my opinion, and that's fair enough. So we're going to move on.
Yeah. Maybe it's a discussion for another day, more detailed video. Because I do have other things, but that's basically my take on it. I just don't think he will succeed here. I just don't think so.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But look, lads, about the game. So this is a huge game. It's a test for Mourinho to see if he can get the players up for this. Get them back on the winning streak after two devastating losses, really. And it's a big game. Look, it's probably a must-win. Let's be honest. But if he does get them up for it and they do go and win, well, then surely that answers the questions about him. Like you were saying, Marcelo, about 80% of the dressing room. Because if he sends out 11 tomorrow and they put in a performance, well, then I'd argue that it's 50% of the dressing room, and it's the losers that we don't want here, that don't want to work for him. And it's the same players that when Poch had to come in, he had to rely on them. But also for me, it probably answer questions of his handling of the squad. It probably also answer a bit of questions about his man management. So to come back from 2 deflating losses like that, to be able to pick yourself up, go out tomorrow and win a game, that would answer a lot of the questions. But Lillywhite Lane, what do you think?
Look, as I say, tomorrow's going to be huge. It's huge for Jose. It's huge for these players. But like you say, when it comes to the dressing room, we will honestly have to see tomorrow. I honestly think when it comes to the lineup, it's going to be a very interesting one. Now, in my opinion, there are no if, buts, or maybes. He has to get the lineup right tomorrow. And by that, I mean Hugo in goal, Regulon at left back, Toby, Sanchez, Aurier as our defensive four, in my opinion. Maybe even put Tanganga in there instead of someone such as Sanchez, or instead of Aurier, maybe stick him in there. In midfield, in my opinion, Højbjerg and Domblé, Gio if he's fit, but Mora for me. Then up top, Kane, Son, and either Bale or Bergwijn, in my opinion. Has to be Bale. There's no if, buts, or maybes. There's no curveballs. There's no Harry Winks in there. There's no, Eric Dyer in there, God forbid. We just need to play our strongest team, like you say. We need to go out there. We need to press them high. And in my opinion, it's going to be very, very interesting to see whether those players honestly have just given up, or they still have something to play for. They still have something to fight for. And I honestly believe it is certain players who do want to fight and others who don't. Other players who... and these are the same players who went on to cost Pochettino's job, in my opinion. But honestly, I think tomorrow will go to show what the future holds for Jose, what the future holds for these players, as I say. And like Charlie said earlier in the stream, I'll echo it now. There are a lot of players who do need to go this summer. But like I say, when it comes to the lineup, no if, buts, or maybes. Strongest team possible. No curveballs whatsoever. I don't want to see any of those in there. I don't want to have to question anything tomorrow. I want the strongest team, and I want a performance. Now, even if we lose 4-3, as gutting as it will be, we want to see a performance. I want to see a performance. I want to see some attacking intent and threat from these players. I want to see them actually going out there and looking like they want to prove something, looking like they're apologising for the 2 losses. The 2 losses. And you know what, right? Hugo Lloris coming out and apologising for midweek. You know, Jose coming out. Why isn't Eric Dyer coming out and apologising? Why isn't Sissoko coming out and apologising?
Because
Why
they're
aren't
shit.
all these other players?
They're fucking
Exactly.
assholes.
Why aren't
I'm
they
sorry
coming
to
out
swear,
and
but
apologising? And it comes to the point where there are certain players who care, and there are other players, excuse my language, who couldn't give 2 shits about this club.
Yep.
Who couldn't give, you know, two hoots about Jose Mourinho and the board or anything and the situation
Nope.
at Tottenham Hotspur. And Hugo said it's the bigger picture. And like I say, you know, we're going to find out how big this picture truly is tomorrow, if you ask me. Like I say, line up, no if buts, or maybe it's a crucial game. And what makes it even tougher is we are going to have to travel to Villa Park. And as I say, it's going to be a very tough game away from home in Birmingham. Sorry, I can't speak. Birmingham. There we go. But as I say, it's going to be a very, very tough game. Not easy by any means necessary, but we must see a reaction. We must see a performance. And if we don't, I'm already Jose out, in my opinion. I don't think he's progressing enough. But if we don't see a performance tomorrow, I think, you know, the backlash is going to be way too much. And I think the board will have to take action. But as I say, you know, we're honestly going to have to see what happens tomorrow.
I'll still keep him the summer until the summer. No, I mean, like, look, I think he's done at the club. I think he's a dead man walking. I don't. I think we broke him as a board, and I think he's also been underperforming lately, in my opinion. But you know, my objective to him was very clear: get Champions League, no matter what avenue. And it just, even though it does look like we're close to the league, looking at the performance, we don't look like a club that's going to get top 4, and we got knocked out by one of the lowest ranked team. So he has underperforming in that statement, but also, like, I can accept the manager underperforming in some way, but it's just his body reaction that's getting me, and I just think he's done. But I'll still keep him by the end of the summer. There's no point in sacking him right now.
Yeah.
There is no point. It's like, who would he get? Like Ledley King as an interim? That just makes no sense.
Ledley King's our defensive coach.
Yeah. Or who we get, like Sacramento as an interim? No, come on now. Let's be real. Like,
that's falling off. That's falling off altogether. That's asking just to be relegated.
That's just
you know what I mean.
Asking.
You can't go down that route.
No.
We have Brandon. No, I agree. But Marcelo, just a quick question, because I do want to take the super chat. Just quickly, if Jose Mourinho was to win the League Cup and get top 4, would you still sack him in the summer, or because this whole thing that he does need loads of money? It's not entirely true, because we got Højbjerg for 15 million. We got somebody through at United. Matic at Chelsea. Like, there are a lot of players that you could pick through at clubs that weren't top quality. So if he does get Champions League and a League Cup, would you give him the summer and let him bring in? Because whatever money there is to spend, whether you give it to Nagelsmann, Rodgers, or Mourinho, would you rather give it to Mourinho, or would you still sack him and bring in Nagelsmann?
Well, I mean, look, if he proves me wrong and gets top 4 and the league, if he wins the League Cup, for me that's not enough. Wender Ramos got sacked, even though he won the League Cup and he deserved to be sacked. Let's be real, he was not good enough. League Cup isn't going to advance this club. I'm all for. I'm Tottenham in, first of all, and everything, and a League Cup won't advance the club, but if he did somehow get top 4 and win the League Cup, I mean, I don't see it happening. I really don't. I really don't see it happening. But if he did it, I mean, I guess I got pie on my face for 2 times in a row, right? I hope I do. I mean, I hope I get pie on my face 2 times in a row. I already got it once, so you know what I mean? I might as well get it twice. But, I mean, if he does that, then I guess it would be our most successful season, in a long time. Yeah. So you can't just sack a manager off that, But I just, in my opinion, I don't see it happening. I really don't see us getting top 4.
Yeah. And you know what? It's crazy to sit here and think that if he does get top 4 and the win League Cup, still our best season in 20 years of Enoch. It's madness. It's absolutely a disgrace.
So it just goes to show how much of a disgrace.
No matter what way you look at it.
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is a disgrace. And this board is just, They did it perfectly, man. They broke another manager. 15 managers. I even though I want him out, I have great deal of respect for Jose. I think he's
Yeah,
underperformed a bit, but I still have a great deal of respect for him, and I'm certain if he goes to another club, but the thing is, he needs a marquee signing. You know what I mean? He needed that marquee signing this summer. He needed that
yeah.
Diaz. He needed that Skriniar. He needs like a
There are
big.
rumors that apparently Diabala is coming back up again, but I don't believe them. You know that.
No, no,
You know, it's all
stop.
this same crack all the time.
Interested
We're linked with this, that, and the other.
FC.
You
I'm
send
not a
Yeah,
Stephen
fan
Hitchen.
anymore.
You
like
send Steve Hitchen out there, and he goes out for Milan Fashion Week. You know, it's absolute disgrace. But I do want to take Brandon Sebastian's super
yeah.
chat here, lads. Random, but Stevie B should be right back and or a defensive midfielder. Nah. Look, I jokingly said it on Matty Hayes watching on, and it was a joke, by the way, that with the way some people praise his defensive abilities, you could probably convert him into right back because he offers nothing on the wing this season. But look, 2-1 Spurs tomorrow. I love the possibility. I love the positivity, Brandon Sebastian. Big up, man, and thank you so much for the super chat. And everyone else, get your super chats in. Support the Irish Army. Support the Harris Army. We have one already. Who's answering the call? It's my man, Brandon Victor Dixon. How are you keeping, brother? How are you, lad? Who knows who the hell shows up versus Villa? Personality disorder with this squad, half to half. Why sack Poch and Jose Mourinho when it's on the players? Jose is proven. No, look, I'll fully enter your segment. Brandon, if you want to check out the stream I done last night, I went into a lot of things. I think you're going to enjoy it personally. But no, look, 100%, I agree with you. I fully 100% agree with you. I know the lads agree with you in a certain respect, but disagree in another. But no, honestly, I do feel that who knows who the hell shows up versus Philly. That's the thing. Look, we could go out there tomorrow and be spanked 5-0, or we could go out there and win 5-0. That's just what this squad does to you. Personality order with the personality disorder with the squad. Yeah, you do think that sometimes. They're all flying all great. As soon as the big game comes around, win this. Things are going to be great, positive. We're going to be champions and everything else, and they bottle it. And then why sack Jose and Poch when it's on the players 100%, and Jose is proven. I couldn't agree more with you, my man, Brandon Victor Dixon. Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Absolute legend. And I will respond to you as soon as this stream is finished, by the way. But, lads, I want to move on because I am severely behind and I have a few more things I do want to get to. And there was a super chat there, as someone asking about, not super chat, just a chat, someone asking about, do I think Kane will play tomorrow, even though he played the full game, the full 120 minutes? Great point. I was going to speak about that. I am going to get onto that later on in the stream. But look, lads, I honestly think, obviously Bar Son and this team selection would be very, very telling because obviously Son's out injured. Would be very, very telling. And I think it would tell us what players Mourinho actually does trust. I do agree with that. So I just want to get onto a bit of team news here as well, lads.
Can I say
Look,
one
obviously,
thing?
Lamela is suspended, so he's not in contention for starting for selection. Son is injured. There is rumours maybe that he could be back. I don't think so.
No.
Lo Celso, for me, look, I think he will be. I think he will come off the bench. I think, look, starting. I think after the amount of minutes he played, which he really wasn't expecting to play in midweek, especially after being out for 3 months, I think it'd be hard to ask Lo Celso to start tomorrow. Kane and Sanchez, look, Sanchez also played the full 120 minutes the other night, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Sanchez maybe rotated because he's played a hell of a lot of games recently. I know you're going to absolutely have a heart attack, Marcelo and Lillywhite Lane, actually, but it probably does scream moon boots playing in beside Toby tomorrow, lads.
He does that. Listen, if he honestly, and this is my other. This is where, like, personally, I think the main reason Jose failed at Spurs was not due to him. But this is where I will say this is one of his faults is that he has placed loyalty in certain players in which they keep failing him. It's like you invite a friend over and he robs you once and you're like, did you steal this? And they're like, oh no. But then you invite him again and then you see half of your room gone. And then keep inviting him and keep inviting him. It's like, why would you keep trusting that guy? And this is where I feel like if he does play Dyer, right? If he does play Dyer, he is setting his own grave. He is digging his own grave. He has other options. He has Toby. He has he has Toby. He has Rodon. He has even Taganga. At this point, I get it. You think Taganga is a right back, but yeah, give him a chance at at center back. Just give him a chance. At
I
this
actually
point,
think you might. I actually believe that Jose Mourinho has no option. I believe Doherty and Aurier has left him no option but to play Tanganga right back tomorrow.
but he
in my
isn't even
opinion.
playing him at right back, David. He's barely played
No,
him at right
He's a
back.
I
centre
know,
back.
I know. And that's one thing I have said about Jose. That's one thing I do think he could have done is maybe give Tanganga more of a go. In
Honestly,
terms of look,
Aurier was a disgrace. I know we hate Doherty, but Jesus Christ. All the goal came in from his right-hand side. It's just I don't know I don't know what's going on at this football club anymore, man. I really don't. Like I understand under Poch, yeah, we used to bottle some things, but we were never as spineless like this. I've never
no, but
seen us
Marcelo,
this spineless, man.
what I
We
was
are
saying is,
so easy to beat. Like, honestly, you know how easy we are to beat? Any team that goes out there with any desire to win, any desire to press,
yeah.
any desire to pass the ball, any desire to actually play some football beats us. Honestly, any team with desire beats us. Simple as. I don't know. Like,
What I
how?
will say, Marcelo, is okay. Prime Pochettino squad, very unbeaten. But as soon as he had to start bringing in Winks and Sissoko to form the centre back partnership and bring in the likes of Ben Davies and stuff like that, ultimately it cost his job and it was shit. It was shit performances, and we were getting bet easy every week in the Premier League. So
Well,
that
to
soft
be fair,
underbelly was there
he
underneath
did.
Pochettino once
To
he
be
started
fair,
losing his better players.
to be fair, he did play Ben Davies in the 17 season, and we beat Dortmund with Winks, and Winks played a lot of the Champions League games. The season we won the final. Yeah, sure, we got lucky in a lot of those games, but the one thing I will say, yes, we got lucky in some of those games, but we also never gave up. We never gave up in those games. Even like City when they scored the first goal, it would have been so easy for us to drop our heads, not care, and not do anything. But no, we kept fighting on. You know what I mean? We got those 3 goals. We never gave up. It wasn't until the tail end of Poch where I start seeing this just spineless, just disgusting, like almost like it almost makes me want to puke. It makes me sick, man. Just seeing like such a this team that's supposed to represent my club be so spineless.
To be
No
fair, I do
backbone,
think,
man.
look, with the Champions League game, look, we got a lot of luck. That Llorente goal now wouldn't have stood. We got a lot of luck on the way. I do get the Ajax game, but that's only a couple of games out of that's only a couple of goals out of the whole. That's only a couple of games out of the whole season. You know what I mean? You can argue it's the same.
But you would say,
you can argue it's the same case now.
Yeah, no, but you would say also Dortmund, Man City.
Yeah, that's a one-off game.
Ajax,
but you can also say,
but you would say, but so is Dynamo. Dynamo's a one-off game. You would say those 3 teams are way better.
But you can go back to the United game. You can go back to all the big games we won this season. You know what I mean? You can also take them into account. It's that's just tit for tat. Personally, I think if you're going to label that of Jose Mourinho, you also have to be honest about Pochettino. We have to be fair about both managers.
No.
You can't expect one thing of Mourinho and not another thing of Pochettino.
No. At the tail end of Poch, I already said, I admit, like, there was really spineless performances. And even, during Poch's prime, there were some spineless performances. But usually, I at least took pride and like, come on, like, you can't tell me when you didn't take pride and, being in that Champions League final or in that Champions League run. When we beat City, you didn't sit there and say, oh, we got lucky. No, you said, no, we did it. We did it. It was pride. It's pride.
I also have pride in our... Marcelo, taking pride has nothing to do with it, because I also have pride in our League Cup, in our League Cup run this season that we're in a final. It's not... You can't say it's the same as the Champions League, but I also have pride in it. But also
there is some pride.
5 years to build it up to a Champions League thing. But we have Mario Escobar, and then Lillywhite has been very patient. I do want to bring him back in. Mario Escobar, the super chat. What Jose Mourinho needs on Sunday is his trusted 11 and a bench of hungry youth players. The others, they don't deserve no more chances. Mario, the bench would be very interesting, to be honest with you, actually, now that you bring that up. It would be very interesting to see whether he's going to give the likes of Winks and Sissoko on that bench time, or is he just going to cast them aside altogether? At the end of the day, whatever he does, he's going to have to back himself to do it, and he's going to have to fully believe in it. Because, you know, look, his job is on the line at the minute, so he's going to have to fully trust what he's doing, and he's going to have to believe that it's going to work 100%, but it's going to be very interesting. But Lillywhite Lane, the next question is look, what do you make of Hugo's comments, actually? Like, because my summary of it was, after watching it multiple times, he's called out the fringe players for complaining rather than pulling their weight. And Mourinho has also kind of questioned that attitude as well. So what do you make of that?
I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant that he went out there and called them out, rightly so. You know, these performances shouldn't be acceptable. But at the same time, shouldn't Hugo be pulling his own weight? Now, I understand all three of those goals were unsavable, but over the past few months, in my opinion, Hugo hasn't been up to par. He's been ridiculous. No. Now, if you're making fantastic saves and stuff and your team's costing you, then rightly so. But in my opinion, he hasn't been playing the part recently. But as far as those comments go, I think they were brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. You know, and this is the issue with this club. So many people, so many fans, so many players are going to hide behind the fact that it's like, oh, it's just unlucky. You know, this performance was unlucky. People fail to see the bigger picture, in my opinion. People tend to fail to see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is exactly what's going on at Tottenham Hotspur. And that's exactly what Hugo Lloris exposed. Now, these are the exact same signs that we saw at the end of Pochettino's reigns in his press conferences. It's exactly what we're seeing with Jose Mourinho right now.
Yeah, he's broken.
I personally do want Jose Mourinho out of our club. I've got my whole reason for that. But like Marcel said earlier, I've already spoke about that. That's a whole different show. But in my opinion, you know, we sack Jose, someone else comes in and they won't succeed. And we'll sack them. When is it going to get to a point where people eventually realise maybe, just maybe, it's down to the board? And I find what's going on right now brilliant, because the board are actually getting called out for once. They've never properly been called out like this before. But because of social media and everything, Enix probably getting the most criticism it's ever gotten before. And I think they will have to act on that in the summer. Whether they will, that's a whole different story. But these comments from Hugo Lloris mean so much more than just what's going on the pitch. This is exposing stuff behind the scenes. Kieran Trippier coming out and saying something a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys heard it, but
I remember
talking about his time at Tottenham Hotspur and saying, you know, I left because there was bigger issues at the club. When are these board members going to take criticism? What they do, right? What they do is they send out these little articles to the newspaper talking about not buying international players and all of this to try and shut us fans up, right? They expect to shut us fans up, and they expect it to be the days where people will go and hold up banners, and there'll be that one guy holding up an Enoch out banner back in the early 2000s and all of that when they first came in, and then, you know, the early 2010s.
I was one of those guys. Since 2000,
it's not like that anymore.
2012, I wanted them gone.
And this is the issue with this club, the lack of investment, and it's the bigger picture. And that's exactly what Hugo Lloris exposed in those comments that he said. As I say, I think he's absolutely spot on to say that. He's right to say that. He needs to put his own weight, in my opinion. In my opinion, the captain right now, although he's had some bad performances recently, should be Højbjerg. I think he is the captain. But in my opinion, right comments from him. Jose Mourinho obviously straight away apologising to the fans. You know, you have to do that. So fair play to him on doing that. And also saying the same kind of things. You know, you hear these things that they're not going to come out and say it's the board. Otherwise, they'll get the sack tomorrow morning. But they're hinting at the board. They're hinting at the board. And most people can pick that out of it. And I'd say those two interviews after, I think they were both spot on. And I believe it is the bigger picture in this club. Now, honestly, here's the issue with Spurs. We win tomorrow. A lot of our fans, including me as well, because I'm as shallow as the next football fan, but including me, I'll be like, yes, we're going to go back on the run now. And then we'll probably go and lose 1-0 to Newcastle. And then we'll beat Man United and we'll be like,
Newcastle are a bogey team, you know, Robbie.
Exactly.
Newcastle are a bogey team to us, Robbie.
Top four. we're 6 points off top 4, and then we'll win another game, and then at the end of the season we'll bottle it because it's the most Spursy thing ever. And people wonder where we get this Spursy tag from. It's from that Zagreb 3-0 loss. It's from that Arsenal 2-1 loss where we bottle it when it comes to the big time. And that's why these players are not good enough. And that's why Hugo Lloris was right to call them out, in my opinion.
I got a couple points to add to that.
Yeah. 1 second. I just want to just Blake's commentaries and a super chat, and then Marcelo, 100% you can take it away. Have you seen we could be back in Europa if Slavia Prague gets kicked out? Don't think I can handle it as Arsenal, to be honest. Look, what I'd say to that is why would they pick Tottenham over every other team that got knocked out? I honestly, I wouldn't read too much into it. I wouldn't pin your luck on it. At the end of the day, we're gone. We accept it. We take it on the chin. We move on. It's not good enough. We shouldn't accept it. But at the end of the day, we just move on. I wouldn't pin any hopes on getting back in the Europa League, and I don't want to be back in the Europa League like that.
We don't deserve it.
We should be in it on our own merit. Will Stewart, THFC rants. I'm serious, lads. If it's true that there is a mutiny in the locker room, these shits should be pulled out and sent to the under-23s, play under-18s in their place. Look, to be honest with you, for all we know with some of the players that have been loaned out to get the first-team experience, that could very well happen in the summer with these players coming back in. You just don't know. But big up, Will. Fair point. Fair point. Everyone else, look, like Will, get your super chats in. We're going to go for about another 10, 15 minutes, and then I have to go because I do need to get my dinner as well. Been very busy boy today, lads. But no, 100% get your super chats in. And also grab them channel memberships. First membership channel is coming. Calling show is coming this week. But Marcelo, go ahead there.
I will say this. Whether Jose goes or not, and I think this has been, I did say this when Jose first came in, whether he succeeds or not at Tottenham, it will expose the board. Because how can you bring a manager like Jose Mourinho and not back him? It's like you said, David, you back him with world-class players, he wins you the big ones, right? So, it's very arrogant from our board, isn't it? And it's getting to a point where I think, Robbie, you do have a point. I think it is exposing our board. And I have seen more, Enoch exposure, even the people who are Jose out, like me, are like speaking up against Enoch. And it's a good thing. And I think, regardless of, Jose's success or not, I wanted him to succeed. I think some positive could come out of this, of maybe his failure, if he does get sacked. I think there is some positives that come out because there is no excuse for the board. You got a world-class manager, you back him with world-class players. Simple as, right? Pochettino, there was the thought, he never won a trophy, right? Can't back a manager who's never won a trophy. But now, it's like, what are you going to say about Mourinho? You know what I mean? He's won it all, so... so the board, I think, got exposed big time. But I also want to ask you, David, we name a couple players that are, that does seem Jose in. But I also want to ask you, do you think he even has any, like, a starting 11 that he can fully trust? Like a full starting 11 that he can trust? Because I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
No, I think he has a starting 9, but you can't put that on him because the rest of the players that are, starting 10, probably you could say 10, 9, 10. But I wouldn't put that on him because we all know the problems is there with the squads and these same players. So you can't put not having a full starting 11 down on him when we know there is only a certain amount of players that are good enough.
Yeah, that's true. But, Pochettino, like I say, it was staleness why these guys threw him under the bus. A lot of those players were with him for a long time, right? And they were growing bored. It's like you even said it. Pochettino never changed his system. So they kind of grew bored of it and they got him sacked, right? But like it's 1 year. Isn't that shocking?
I wouldn't exactly see, Marcelo. It's not easy as saying that they grew bored of Pochettino because we also have to remember the squad is older. So the likes of some of them players can't run around like they were. They can't play that high pressing game like they were. But also, like I was explaining, when he lost Wanyama and Dembele and had to make up a partnership of Winks and Sissoko, when he lost Danny Rose and had to play Ben Davies, when he lost Kyle Walker and he had to start rotating between Trippier and Aurier, and he had to start relying on these players a lot more, ultimately that's when things went stale and not before then.
I can see that, but I also remember, like, yeah, those guys would play on and off, but also I think Toby was growing stale. I think Kane was growing stale. Listen, let me tell you this: a lot of these managers, like I think Pochettino, when he got sacked, the first thing Levy asked was for Kane's okay. Like I'm just gonna be real. I think Kane was also part of he also backed Pochettino sacking, and when he heard Mourinho was coming in, he was all for it. I think that was a setup from the whole club. I think they were all tired of him. Even Pochettino's most loyal player were done with them. Even Dele Alli, I think they were all done with them. You know, and now I'm kind of seeing similar things. Now I do think Kane and Son wants to keep him, and some other players like Højbjerg and Reguilon, who are obviously his players that he brought in. But I think the only reason Kane wants to keep him is because he doesn't want another rebuild. He's not old enough. I mean, he's not young enough. Same with Son.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of these other players, I think even Tungai is now not really in his favor. I think he's grown stale. I think he doesn't
On
care
that,
about
to
it.
be honest with you, I wouldn't 100% agree because we have to remember Pochettino got knocking out at Tanguy, and then Mourinho spent nearly 6-7 months working with him, and even through lockdown, working with him to get his fitness up, to get him on the field. So I wouldn't exactly say Tanguy's out because Mourinho is the one ultimately that got him on the field and got him playing. Not Pochettino, nobody
no,
else. And he
I
showed
agree.
patience with the guy.
I know, I agree, but I think but there's rumors that even though he did come back, they still never had the same close relationship, and I think even Tongue guys turned on him. I from what I've seen, he got the best out of him, but think now he's just I think he doesn't care about Jose anymore or for his tactics.
I tell you, tomorrow will definitely give us that answer. I think with Tanguy, to be honest with you, because I do think he'll play tomorrow, and I think tomorrow will give us that answer.
I think
Mario
a lot of
Escobar
players.
says,
I agree with that. I think that and a lot of other players. I think Toby even. I think Toby might also be part of one of those toxic players. The poison
"No,
players.
I don't think so. I think if you're going on what he said when he signed his contract, I think when he signed his contract, he was here for the Mourinho tenure, no matter what. I think he also knows
Mine
there's a lot of
changes,
losers
man.
here.
Mine changes. Honestly, I think minds
I
do
get mine
change.
changes, but in soccer, when you're signing your contract, you're not signing your contract to change your mind in a short period of time. You're ultimately signing your contract because you're going to stick by the manager and do what he wants to do. Because a year and 2 years in football is a long time to not sign a contract and work with a manager if you're not sure about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I do want to take Mario's comment, and that's after sparking a comment, and I should have brought up earlier and apologise to this person. He says, David, you keep surprising more and more. You should work for ESPN. Nah, look, I'd rather be doing my own thing. Look, if someone like that came calling, it'd be unbelievably nice, wouldn't it? It's supposed to be hard to turn it
They
down.
have to pay you
I like doing my
overtime.
own thing. And that
Yeah.
brings up, I want to apologise to Simon, Premier Hotspur TV. He did have a comment up there earlier on. I was supposed to bring it up, and Mario Escobar's after reminded me, and he was saying that I'm growing from strength to strength in that. So big up Simon as well. We have Surav Patak. He says, I don't understand why he should Jose have 11 players that he trusts. Aren't these players paid? They should be punished.
Yeah.
Look, ultimately, every manager has to have a core group of players that he trusts. Look, you see it at other clubs, they have these captaincy little meetings and groups. And so every manager does have to have players he trusts. But my problem is when have we come to a point where it's up to the manager to ask the players to get out on the field rather than the players be chomping at the bit to get out on the field and play. And when they do get their minutes, take their minutes. But big up, Saurab. Really do appreciate that super chat, my man. Lillywhite Lane, I know it's getting late and I know you have to head off. So I want to give you a little bit more say. And then, I suppose, look, we'll probably end it off here pretty. No, go on, have your say, and then I'm going to stick around with Marcelo for another 5 minutes, and then after that I'm going to have to end it because I do have to go. I do have to go and get food. So, Lillywhite Lane, come on in.
Look, as I say, in my opinion, I just want to echo exactly what you guys are saying there. I honestly believe tomorrow, like you say, will really go to show the attitude of these players. It will really go to show who trusts Jose. It will really go to show who believes Jose is the right man for the job and can basically stay at this club. And it will go to show who wants him out of the club. And I think this is what makes tomorrow's night's game so huge. As I say, 7:15 kickoff. I hate that kickoff time with a passion. But
is it half 7 or 7:15, Robbie?
Pardon?
Is it half 7 or 7:15?
I think it's 7:15.
7:15. Jeez, I would be 15 minutes late to kick off, so lad, thanks for that.
No, I was gonna say something I was frustrated about though, which I did see on Thursday as well, is Musa Sissoko's been a player that I've sung his praises for a long time. I think he's been a dominant midfielder. I think he's done very well. As of recent, he's just looked lazy. He's been walking around, and it's the same with a lot of our players, simply looking lazy, not giving enough to the team, not committing. And tomorrow, like you say, will really go to show who believes that Jose Mourinho is the right man for the job. But David, Marcelo, I am going to have to head off right now. I say it's been an absolute pleasure coming on the show. So thank you both so much. Yeah. Thank you, David, for inviting me on.
Robbie, before you go, most importantly, lad, while you have the viewers and everything else here, plug your channel. Do not forget the most important thing, man.
Yeah.
Yes, so if you do want to check me out on YouTube, my channel is Lily White Lane. All kinds of Tottenham Hotspur content, match previews, match reviews, player ratings, predicted lineups, debriefs when Bob Spur TV comes on the channel. So, as you say, if you do want to give my channel a plug and help me out, as I say, it'd be an absolute pleasure if you can. Every subscriber means the world to me. It's absolutely fantastic, the amount of supporters I have. And this is what's so brilliant about this platform. You got you got Matty Hayes, We Are Tottenham TV, Premier Hotspur, Bob Spur, Spurs Debate, all these different Spurs channels who all go out there and create Tottenham Hotspur content and all join together to bring the best content possible for the viewers and everything. And I find it absolutely fantastic. Hence the fact it's an absolute pleasure. It's an honour to be on here tonight, David, as I say, But thank you so much. If you do want to check me out, check out my channel, Lily White Lane. But guys, it's been a pleasure.
Before you go, I want a score prediction. I should have got one off Charlie.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game, but I said in my preview 3-1. I'm going to stick to my word. I'm thinking 3-1 tomorrow. I do expect a reaction. We won't keep a clean sheet. Well, that's me being a little too optimistic. My mind's telling me 1-1. My mind's telling me no.
My mind is telling me no. But my body,
exactly, but,
my body's telling me yes.
But, I do believe, whether I do or don't believe, I do believe we can get something out of this game. It's going to be very tough, but 3-1 for me. 3-1 for me.
Come on, Robbie. Everyone else, I strongly urge you to get over and check out Robbie's channel. I do enjoy the content he puts out. I do tune in regularly and that. Everyone else, make sure you get over, check it out as well. But Robbie, it's been a pleasure to have you back on. Sorry it's took longer than what it should. And 100% I'll get you back on. Try and get on for the post-match show if you can, my man. I'm not 100% sure what time I'm going at yet because obviously I do other streams and stuff like that. But I will let you know tomorrow. I'm more than welcome to come and join me tomorrow if you want on.
Brilliant. Cheers, David. Brilliant seeing you, Marcelo, as well. Charlie as well. Brilliant seeing him on here. But guys, all you guys take care and come on, you Spurs. Please don't.
See you, Rob.
Tottenham.
Come on, Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. No, 100%. We definitely echo that. Please don't let us down. Welcome, channel member Nathan Callow. Big up. Welcome to the Harris Army, my man. Channel memberships. I'm absolutely smashing on them lately as well. Of course, first calling show coming Wednesday. And it's not what I want to talk about. It's what you want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about, we talk about. So grab a membership. And also, we're going for another 5 minutes. Get your super chats in as well. Marcelo, I'm going to skip over a couple of questions here because I haven't been able to get through as much as I'd like today. Because, look, rightly so, the whole conversation is about Jose Mourinho. I didn't really want it to be that much Jose Mourinho orientated today.
Honestly,
I think kind of focus on the game, but it is what it is.
I think that's what it's all about, really. I mean, I think personally, I'm not going to say when will save Mourinho's job, but I think especially if there's a loss, which is I think we're all expecting. I think every news outlet really expects us to, go and lose this.
And that's when Tottenham win.
and yeah, that could be. But I think if he loses this, the headlines are written as, right up. I think honestly he could get sacked if he loses this game. I don't think it makes sense, but he could, No,
look, there's every possibility he can. Look, I don't know. I don't think he will, I just don't think he will.
You don't think he'll go? You don't think he'll get sacked in the
going
summer,
into the
though?
international break will do him the world of good.
Yeah.
It'll do the players the world of good. It'll do the fans the world of good. You know, we have Danny Kiriakou channel member. Big up, Dano. The Irish Hotspur, the only one. David Harris, 100% lad. Absolutely love it, my man. Lovely white. He's taking. He's like a celebrity on everyone's stream. What legend? 100%. Sorry, go ahead, Marcelo.
No, I was gonna say this. Do you think if he competes for top 4, right, and maybe he gets close but he fails, do you think Levy keeps him? Because I think with this whole talk already with Nagelsmann, I already seen this too many times. I think Levy has already made up his mind. Really,
yeah.
And I think that's really sad, man. You know, don't you think that's sad? You know, it's the same thing he did to Pochettino. You know, when we hear, oh yeah, he started talking with other managers. There was Allegri talk. Remember that? There was Jose Mourinho talk. There was talk with Nagelsmann. There was talks with all these other managers, and it's just like it's a bit disrespectful, you know, like to your manager.
No, look, it is, but you know, look, unfortunately, see, this is a thing, and this is something me and you look. You know, whether we're on different camps to the side with the management, one thing we've always said is football needs to be ruthless, and Tottenham need to be ruthless. So look, I'll be honest, right? If they do have plans of getting Jose, instead of having these murmurs going on in the background, just do it. Just do it. Don't be doing all this long, drawn out, delayed process. Be ruthless.
I think it's broken. I think it's broken Mourinho a little bit. I think honestly, since those rumors, I've seen a whole different body reaction from him. Because, you know, when we were losing, right? Like, for example, the Liverpool game. Remember when Højbjerg scored that goal? Mourinho was going rampant, you know, on the sideline. He's like, come on, let's fucking go. Move. You know, he was all over, like, forward. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, this is my manager. He's taking the things to the scruff of the neck. But then when we go 1-0, you know, 1-1 against Arsenal, and, you know, after the Dynamo game, he just kind of looked lost, man. He looks lost.
100% he looks lost. But look, one thing I will say is every single one of us look lost as well. It's just one of them defeats. I wouldn't read too much into that body reaction Sunday, but what I would read probably a lot into is tomorrow's game. I think that'll be a fair reaction because, look, every one of us looked like, you know, we just wanted to die after that loss to Zagreb, especially after the back of Arsenal. Every single one of us. I do think tomorrow it will be a fair reflection of judging his body thing. Because, look, you know, someone could say to me, oh, man, you look lost after the Zagreb game. And I did. But, I'm back here today trying to be a bit more positive. So I will say tomorrow, look, if he's standing there again and he's just like that, you'd say, look, he's checked out. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But you would say he's checked out. The press conference, it's just, you know, even with the Arsenal, you know, like I remember even after a loss, you know, he came in with the press conference with a little bit of fire. You know, the post-match, I mean, he looked about to cry, David. You know, in that press conference, I've never seen. But the thing is, I've never seen Jose Mourinho like this. Honestly, this is like Tottenham Hotspurs, man. Levy and Enoch ought to like pat themselves on the back because they did something I never thought to be possible. I think they absolutely broke this man. I think he's absolutely broken, David. You know,
it could be, but what I will say is I'm going to hold out till tomorrow's game, and I'm going to judge his body thing tomorrow, especially with because honestly, I'll be honest. Apart from Son, I'm expecting that lineup to be exactly what he wants going forward towards the end of the rest of the season. So I'm going to judge it on that. Look, being honest, if I was manager of that team Thursday night, Winks, Sissoko, fucking all the donkeys that we talk about, I would be deflated and depressed. You know what I mean? They've done it to us many, many a times. I just want to give a quick sight on Aston Villa. And then, look, we're going to get a score prediction and we're going to end off because I do need to go. Look,
I will say this. I saw one comment saying that, you know, I'm one of those type of fans that want us to lose. Trust me, I want us to beat Villa. I will never say I want this team to lose. I want us to beat Villa very badly. And I don't expect Jose to do cartwheels, but I expect him, you know, to I don't know. Like there's a difference between pissed off and just dejected and you know, looking like you don't have anything, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Daniel Reed, Josie in full Maverick mode now. Tin Man 007. Marcelo, you may give it to him. This is why he's put it in, because you're back.
You know, I can't. I don't have enough energy, man. You know, Spurs is just.
Yeah, Tottenham's broken, lad. Tottenham's broken, but he gave you the best he can give you.
I do the best
What manager wants to work with Levy? Honestly, I think we are dead now from top to bottom. Levy has destroyed us as a club. Look, there's every potential that can happen to him.
And that's why I think, and honestly, that's why I just think it's not because like Jose is old or a dinosaur. I just think like a young manager would come in, and I think he'll be a little bit more flexible, because when you're trying to prove yourself, you're willing to work, you know, like in Tottenham. If you can be the guy, you know, that says, you know what, I fixed Tottenham. You know what I mean? You look at Pochettino, how big, even though he never won a trophy with us, what he did with us, you know, I mean, PSG wants him. He went from, you know, being a Southampton manager to going to PSG. Now, that's a big improvement, when you say, David. So I think any young manager coming to Tottenham will have that aspiration of being like, you know what, I'll deal with Levy's shit. I'll deal with this board shit like Poch did, and I'll be flexible, and I'll try whatever way to get something out of this. While I think what Mourinho is, he doesn't deserve this. He's not going to deal with this because he is a proven manager, and nor should he.
I get he doesn't deserve it, and I get that. But at the end of the day, for me, look, I would much rather give Mourinho the money to sort out the problems come the summer, rather than give it to someone young. Like this whole thing, like I can get what you're saying. He might be more flexible, but like in terms of talking with players. But like in hindsight, like, you know what I mean? That if you have a player who's being more flexible to these players, then it just shows that them players are running the dressing room, and that shouldn't be the case.
And they are
always the manager running the dressing room. So if there's anyone that's going to wean that out, that would be Mourinho. Whereas a young manager coming in, he's not going to wean that out.
But
David, and to me, that's the problem.
But David, sadly today, that's just how football is. You know, trust me, David. If you could get me a magic wand and, you know, bring back the days where, you know, there was a Sir Alex Ferguson's and the Arsene Wenger and, you know, all these other managers where they had control of the club, you know, and, you know, they you know, people backed the manager instead of the players, and the owners backed the manager instead of the players. I would wave that magic wand, you know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, that's not how that's not how it is, man. That's not how it is. It's just, for me, it's just unrealistic, you know. No board will ever choose the manager over the players. It's just how it is in football nowadays, you know. Like for example with Ole, I think reason why
I disagree. City with Pep, Liverpool with Klopp, Ole at United. You know, there's plenty of examples that if you do stick with the manager and you do give him what I want, that like, because look, when Pep came in, there was that massive question: is Pep finished? Has football moved on? And then all of a sudden, he's brought a whole new way of playing to England. Same with Klopp. People thought, is the Liverpool job too big for Klopp? Can he get the job done? Look what he went and done when he was given what was needed. You know, you also look at
but there's a big
difference. Rodgers at Leicester. He's also spent money.
Yeah.
He's also spent money. So there is cause to say that, you know, that you can still do that in football. And when you look at that, they're the teams that are winning trophies. Yeah. Now, if you go down Arsenal's route and you keep sacking managers and you bring in a manager until you get the right project, when you're not, you're just going to be Arsenal.
But there's a difference. With those clubs. One, City, they can take a risk in Pep. You know, even if Pep is a flop, it's not going to be any financial burden to them. You know, they can. City is a club that they're so fortunate they can risk like 7 rebuilds, bro. You know what I mean? And they'll be fine. You know, they'll be financially fine. They have no risk. They're so financially sound. They will take risk, and also they're able to like give Pep a rebuild in one season. They rebuilt the squad in one season. You know, that's just how crazy they are. And with Klopp, I will say, yes, that is true. That is a great point. But Klopp, in my opinion, never lost his dressing room like I think Jose has. And I think he was smart enough to keep the dressing room happy enough, even though the performance was bad. He was smart enough to still keep the dressing room happy enough. And I think I think his man management was better than Jose Mourinho while he was at Liverpool. I just think it was. His man management.
No, you can say that, but like, you know, he also did have his row with players. A lot of that did come out.
He
Um,
did, but it
look,
wasn't never. It was never to this level, man. I think he never to this level. I think he lost almost all of his players, other than the ones I named.
look, like I said, I think that's your opinion. I don't agree. Like,
Fair enough.
you're saying that Man City have the money to keep reinvesting in rebuilds. But then if you want to
They
sack a
do.
manager, bring in another manager, that doesn't work. We have to bring in another manager, that doesn't work. Bring in another one until we get the right project. That's sort of gambling on a rebuild. And if people are saying we don't have the money to gamble on a rebuild, then surely you're not going to go down that route, because it doesn't make financial sense then.
But the thing is, with Jose Mourinho, it's just that since he has already lost a dressing room, we can't do like a City. When I mean, like, just rebuild the whole squad. You know what I mean? Just rebuild the whole squad. We can't do that in a short time like City does. When Pep came in, he had a lot of players he didn't want, right? He had almost the whole squad. He didn't want even half of the City squad. City said, okay, we'll just buy you all the new players. They can afford that. We can't do that. If Mourinho comes to this club and he says, yeah, I need to change about, I would say 8 of these players, which I do think. I think. Listen, we need to get rid of a lot of players, but it's not simply how this board does it, is it, David? We're not gonna. We don't have Paul Mitchell anymore. We have Steve Hitchen. You know what I mean? Let's not beat around the bush. That's what I was saying about City.
But also beating around the bush, Marcelo, is like we can say well, they're not going to get rid of 7 or 8 players for Jose Mourinho, but then we talk about bringing in a manager for a rebuild. So if they can't do it for one manager, why all of a sudden, because it's a rebuild, we can do it for another manager? This is the thing. You can't not do it for one manager and then go and do it for another manager. It doesn't make sense. You can't sit here in one sense and say, well, they're not going to do that, I want Jose out, and then sit here and say, oh, but then we getting a new manager, we're going to get the rebuild. It's not doable. If it's not doable for one, it's not doable for another.
I have explained it to you why there's a difference. Klopp rebuild was a long-term rebuild, right? Like Pochettino's rebuild was a long-term rebuild, right? The difference was Pochettino and Klopp made sure to not lose their dressing room, most of their dressing room. Now, of course, they fell out with players here and there. That's normal, right? But they made sure not to lose the whole dressing room. If you lose the whole dressing room and most of the players are not playing for you, you're going to get sacked. That's simply it in football nowadays. Now, Jose Mourinho, in my opinion, has lost the whole dressing room. Pochettino, Klopp,
But that's your opinion, though. That's not facts either, though.
Well, yeah, and it's also your opinion that that he hasn't lost the whole dressing room. But for me, the performance is speaking for itself.
But it's also like Harry Kane and players that come out and speak in the press also back that up too.
Yeah, but the performances don't back it up. We don't look like a team that cares about top 4. We don't look like a team that cares about winning trophies, and we don't look like a team that can beat anyone. We can't even beat Croatian farmers. So we don't look motivated. We just don't look motivated. We don't look like
this is the thing. We've also said that the players that lost to Dynamo Zagreb haven't been motivated at the period over Tottenham. We've also sat here and said that.
But there was
so we can't say that it's just Jose's fault that they're not motivated.
Yeah,
Hugo Lloris even came out and said in the press that it's not exactly his fault. This has been happening for too long. Hugo Lloris's words are there in the press.
But those are words. Actions speak louder than words. And from the actions I've seen, this looks like a squad that does not want to play for this manager and that does not want to go out and succeed for this manager. Now, for Pochettino, when he first came in, most of the squad, even though they weren't good enough, were fighting for the manager. It wasn't until the tail end that they stopped fighting for the manager. No, they didn't,
because when Pochettino first came in, the only game that saved Pochettino was Harry Kane's deflection.
Was Harry Kane's deflection? Yeah,
because they were ready to sack him. But what did they do? They stuck with him and let him clear 13 to 14 players out of the dressing room. Yeah. So again, if we're going to talk about Pochettino,
but he didn't lose. But he didn't. But the thing is,
you can't say one rule for Pochettino and another rule for Mourinho. It doesn't work like that.
No. But he didn't lose the whole dressing room, is what I mean. I
think he did, because he had to clear out 12 to 13 players. He clearly did lose the whole dressing room.
No, because those players didn't all fall out with him. Those players were just not good enough. He still kept in good. No. He's still in somewhat kept in good favors with those players.
They did fall out with him because a lot of them came out in the press. A lot of them came out in the press and said they didn't like his training techniques. That's why they didn't want him and they were pushing for him to be sacked. It's all out there. It's all in the press.
There is, yeah. But that was a couple of players. That was a couple of players. But in my opinion, the players in this squad, I think this squad, like 70% of them are Jose out. 70% of them. And when you have a squad that is that much against you, you're not going to last for long. You're just not. The thing that Klopp did and the thing that Pochettino did was that they were able to keep the squad happy for long enough to make a rebuild. That's the difference. Jose Mourinho has fallen out
I'd argue the
way
season's
too
nearly
early.
over, and he's nearly kept it happy long enough to get the season over to do what Poch done and rebuild in the summer. That could be there as well. I just want to take
it's not going to happen. Yeah, no, it's true. It's not going to happen. And also, I think there, the fact that Levy already is talking with other managers is a big statement to what state the club is at and how much they do favor Jose. Because normally that's only happened when really, every time Levy does that is because, the manager is completely fallen out with the squad and, there's no real turning point. I think this was hard on Levy, man, because he had to eat a lot of pie on his face because this was his golden boy. You got to remember, David, this Jose Mourinho was the guy he was waiting for. And for him to already be talking with other managers, right? Well, I think for him to be talking with other managers is a lot.
Nagelsmann was asked about the job, and he said potentially, but it doesn't actually 100% mean that Levy is actually going to talk to him.
But what do you mean? No, there's already talks.
Again, that's not fact. That's just an opinion. That's not fact either.
May, come on now. You've seen this too many times. When there's rumors that Levy has been talking with other managers, it is most likely because it's true, because it's happening. It's just most likely it's going to happen. I will guarantee you this, right? I'll give you, and I'll say what? I'll say this. I believe so much that Levy has given up on this manager, right? And he is out. That I will make a bet with you. I will donate you $20 of super chat, right? If by the end of the season, if Jose doesn't get top 4, right, he gets immediately sacked, and Nagelsmann or someone else is already replaced immediately.
No, look, I don't want to go down with you. I don't want to go down this route.
No, if you're wrong, listen.
I'm right, you're right. I don't want to go down that route. I want to go down the route of facts. I don't want to go down that route.
But if you're wrong, right, nothing goes for you. Because I will be glad. Listen, I'll be glad to be wrong. I'll be glad to, Jose somehow finds a way to succeed and, win and do this. But I will say this. I believe so strongly that this squad has fallen out with Jose. I believe so strongly that he already lost the players and that these players don't want to play for him anymore. And that Levy realized that and wants to get and already has a new manager in mind. I believe that's so strongly.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Look, I disagree with it, but we're going to move on because I have a heap of super chats to get through.
Yeah. You also got to eat. I do feel bad.
We really are going to leave because I do need my dinner, man. I'm starving.
I'm
like that lad in the Snickers ad. I don't know if you have it over in America, Marcelo, where they throw the Snickers at me like you're always a diva when you're hungry.
Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one.
We have Paddy Harnett. He says, no question, just well done, guys. If you want legends, former players on the chat, let me know. Paddy Harnett, my Twitter is in below. If you have Twitter, it's at the Irish Way. Hit me up. I'm definitely looking to get legends on, former players. So make sure you hit me up, my man, and they'll be perfect for my Spurs story as well. So, yeah, look, hit me up and also put in the chat there now and let me know how best is to contact you as well. We have Mario Escobar, Marcelo, why managers should babysit players. Either way, either they play with everything because that's their job or manager bench them. Why? Do you want to answer that quickly there, Marcelo?
Yeah, I can answer it. Like, I don't understand it. I think it's silly. I think it's stupid. I think the fact that, people say Jose should be a father figure, for these players is embarrassing. But I don't know football, man. You know what I mean? If I got the way I wanted to, all these players would be men and grown-ass men and be like Roy Keane, David. But this is not how football is nowadays, is it? Nowadays you look at Ole, right?
Well, I'd argue the top level of football, it's like that. But apart from the top level of football, there's a lot of losers around.
But listen, even at the top level, David, a lot of it is just managers making sure. Like, look at PSG; they're a bunch of babies, man. You know what I mean? Mbappe doesn't get one game, and all of a sudden, him and Neymar and everybody else throw Tuchel under the bus. You look at
their problem is though that they party too much. They do not live a good lifestyle over there. That is well known over there. That's a major problem.
I agree, but you can't tell me those guys aren't top team. They're a top team, and so even in the top teams you're seeing nowadays, just crybabies. Just little babies. You look at United. I think the only reason Ole has survived this long is because of his man management. Although I think Ole is a terrible tactician, his man managing is incredible. Those players just walk all over him, and he lets them, and that's why they're still here. Because have you noticed, David? Whenever it came close to Ole's job to be on the line, those players turned up. Those players turned up for him. Because guess what? They know we keep Ole, we get to do what we want. And that's how players are nowadays, man. Players have all the power. It's sad to say, but
Marcelo,
it's how it is.
When Solskjaer came in, he was also allowed to clear a lot out of the dressing room that weren't playing his way. Let's not forget this.
Go
back and look at the transfer record. He got rid of so many players at that club to be able to get the club the way he wants. And this is my point. This squad has to be rotated. And a manager has to come in and be allowed to do what he needs to do for anything in this club to change.
I disagree.
When you're Josie in, Josie out. That's what needs to happen at this club.
He didn't clear out many of the squad, man.
No, he did.
Okay.
Ashley Young.
Okay.
There's a lot more as well.
Martial was here before him. Pogba was here before him. Rashford was here. Greenwood. But
that's not the debate, lad.
But that's what you said. He cleared out, but a lot of those players were former, United players when he came in. The thing is just that simply he lets them walk all over him, so they stay. They want to keep him because he lets them walk all over him. This whole thing where managers have egos and their egos have conflict with players like the old days just doesn't happen anymore. Those Sir Alex Ferguson days and
I think you're wrong on the United situation. I'm going to be honest. I do think you're wrong on the United situation. Go and look at it. Look at how many players he got out and some of the players he signed to be able to make the squad his own as well. But I do want to move on. I don't want to get bogged down and only gone a shoe shiner, to be honest.
No, I agree. But it's a sad, simple state of where football is because it's just how it's just how it is in football. You have to keep players happy. You have to be their little daddies. You have to hold their hand. It's just who they want as managers nowadays. It's sad, but it is.
Not necessarily either. I don't agree.
I think it is.
Again, that's a show for another day. I don't want to get bogged down on it.
I don't like it.
Abby, Marcelo, did your private informant in Tottenham Hotspur tell you that Jose Mourinho has lost the dressing room?
No. Listen, it's like David said. It's my opinion. It's what I think. Yeah. But if you think players that are playing for him, players who don't show up for North London derby, one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time in the North London derby. Players who can't even show up to Europa League. Players who can't even be bothered to to play any game. These players can't be bothered, man. Players can be bothered. And I said the same thing for Poch. I said, look, I think Poch lost his dressing room. And that's why I wanted Poch out. Not because Poch is a bad manager. I wanted Poch out because I think he lost it. I think he lost the dressing room. He lost it with the board. And he lost it with the club. I've seen it too many times with other managers. That's my evidence.
When do you nip the in the cycle, though? When do you nip that in the cycle and keep rotating managers? And when do you nip it in the cycle and go with clearing out the squad?
I would love to
that's ultimately what's going to happen.
But I would love to do that. But the issue is that's not up to me. That's up to the board, and the board will not do that. No, I know, but I'm asking
you when is the time to do that?
When it is a time to stick by your manager.
Like how many managers do we go through before we really start focusing on getting the squad cleared out?
But the thing is, in my opinion, is when you lose out of favor with that many players, I don't think there's any sustainable way to keep a manager. When you fall out with the whole squad, as I think he has, I have no proof of it. But when you have fallen out with that many players in a squad, I don't think there's any sustainable way to keep the manager. There's just no way. You just get rid.
Look, I 100%. I get what. I get what you're saying. I fully get where you're coming from. I 100%. But what I'm saying is when do we stick by your manager and say no, he's going nowhere? You change the squad. When does that point come?
I think it's when he is stable. He's still able to get most of the squad playing for him. When it's just some players rebelling, like Pochettino. Remember, we used to call them the bum players. The bums. When it's some players rioting, then that's when you stick by the manager. But you still gets a kick out of most players. But when you lose 70% of the dressing room, that's when you get them out. But the thing
But then
is,
saying bum squad, players you were saying that we were saying about Pochettino are the exact bum players that Mourinho has to work with. This is the thing.
yeah. Well, okay. Well, no. Hold on a second. Those bum players, Pochettino did not lose most of the squad. There's a big difference. It's not
But
just
he
the
did because he
bum.
got sacked. They stopped running from him. The
No, no,
evidence
no,
was
no,
there on
no,
the
no,
pitch.
no, 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 no. Not at the end of the season. I'm talking about at the beginning of Pochettino's season, right? His first season, he had that protest, right? A lot of those players protesting. But the issue is he still had a lot of players playing for him. Like Harry Kane was still playing for him. He had Ericsson play for him. He had a lot of key players playing for him still. But the issue is Mourinho. I think he's fallen out of favors with too many players. Pochettino didn't fall out of favor with that many players like Mourinho has. Now when that no, no, but the
That
thing is,
also has to be taken in.
no, but the thing
Another
is,
point that has to be taken
let
in.
me just finish.
Look at the
Let me just finish.
size of the squad.
Yeah,
Look at the size of the squad we had with Pochettino compared to the size of the squad Mourinho has to work with. So that was also a factor why Pochettino was be able to get more players to play from, because the squad was probably nearly twice as big as it is now.
But let me finish. Let me finish one piece. At the end, though, that did happen to Pochettino, where 70% of the squad fell out with him. And that's when I agreed he had to be sacked. So I'm treating the way I treated Pochettino the same way I'm treating Jose. I'm not treating him any different. When I think you lose 70% of the squad, there's no way for a manager to come back. It's just not sustainable, David, because you can't.
No, I get what you're saying.
We're not a club that's going to rebuild in one season. We're a club that's going to rebuild over time. And you're going to, and like it or not, we're going to need to depend on some of those players.
I get what you're saying, but as well, like you can't sit there and say, I'm going to treat Mourinho the same way as Pochettino, because at the end of the day, we've also established that, you can't expect Pochettino to work with them players and then get him sacked and say Mourinho has to do it as well. It's like we let's be honest, a lot of people that are calling for Jose's head are not treating him fairly the way they treat Pochettino. And I don't care what anyone says. You can be the strongest Jose out there. There's no way you can sit there with a straight face and tell me people are giving Mourinho and treating him the same way they have with Poch. It's just not true. It's a lie.
I have. Hold on a second. I laid a clear objective for him that he has to reach. We got knocked out by one of the lowest ranked team in the Europa League. We have not looked like a top 4 squad and the Premier League. Our record against a lot of the top clubs has been shocking. I think he's also underperformed massively with the squad, and his win rate has proven it. He has a lower win rate than any of our last 5 managers. And I would say this: Mourinho as a whole has a whole lot better squad than what Pochettino started out with what Redknapp had, and what AVB had. And if you look at the number, he has underperformed massively compared to them, and that's facts. That's not debatable. The numbers don't lie. I can bring them up. He has underperformed massively in the league compared to them, with a better squad, in my opinion. Harry Kane, like when Redknapp came in, he didn't have Harry Kane. He didn't have Son. Didn't have Højbjerg. He didn't have
Who did he have?
Reguilon.
Who did he have?
Yeah, okay, he had Modric,
Robbie Keane, Defoe, Berbatov, Van der Vaart, Modric, Bale. I can keep going. Honestly, I can keep going. So it's not a fair accurate statement to say he has the better squad than Redknapp. That's not true.
I think he did. I think he does. I think he did. At the beginning,
not true, Marcelo. I'm just listing off the players. Robbie Keane, quality. Defoe, quality. Berbatov, quality. Van der Vaart, world class. Modric, world class. Gareth Bale, world class. It's just not true, Marcelo. No, I'm sorry, it's not true.
Okay, you're not even gonna let me speak my point, are you? Robbie Keane.
No, I am, but I'm just not going to let you. I'm just not going to let you not speak the truth either. You're saying the numbers are there, but Redknapp's squad is better.
No. Your mind is failing you, man. Robbie Keane, when he came back to Tottenham, right after he went to Liverpool and he came back to Tottenham, he was not the same player. And Modric, yeah, he had it for a couple seasons. Then he left. Bale, yes, Bale was obviously massive. I would say yes, he was
Modric is a
probably
Ballon
massive.
d'Or winner.
Modric, yeah, he's a future Ballon d'Or winner. Yeah, that's true. But he wasn't that same. I think Modric was a lot better in Real Madrid than he was at Tottenham, in my
He was
personal
class at
opinion.
Tottenham.
No, he was good. He was class at Tottenham, but
Which ultimately got him his move to Real
Mourinho,
Madrid.
I think he had a better overall squad. I think he had a better overall squad than Redknapp. I think so.
I've just listed off the players in Redknapp's squad compared to what we have now. There's no way we do.
Kane and Son are the two best duos in Europe.
Everyone in the comment section, let me know who had a better squad, Jose Mourinho or Harry Redknapp.
Kane and Son are their two best duos in Europe, right? Endombala is one of the brightest prospects in the midfield, right? He's a very skilled player. Højbjerg is a very skilled player. We can all agree on.
The level of Modric? The level of Modric. This is what we're comparing. Because we're saying Harry Redknapp didn't have a better squad.
Okay, is Robbie Keane... But is Robbie Keane the level of Kane? Is Robbie Keane the level of is Berbatov the level of Kane? He's not.
Berbatov ended up United and won the Premier League, so I'd argue Robbie Keane was quality.
Come on now. Don't tell me Berbatov was better than Kane. Don't tell me Berbatov was better than Harry Kane. Come on, Harry Kane is the greatest player we have had in our generation, man. Come on.
I'm not saying he's better than Kane, but he's on par with Kane. He's on par with Kane.
Come on, Kane.
No, you're clutching at straws, Marcelo. No, you're clutching at straws here now.
You're clutching at straws.
No, you are. Look, at the end of the day, I've named off the players. It's clear to see with the players Redknapp had, it's way better than this squad. You've even said it yourself. This squad is shit. You cannot deny it. Pochettino had a better squad than what Mourinho had to work with. I've proven that yesterday as well.
When Pochettino started, not Pochettino's first season. No, Pochettino's first season, he did not have a better squad than Mourinho. And so didn't AVB. AVB did not have a better squad than Mourinho. You're also clutching at straws. Let's talk about AVB. AVB did not have a better squad.
Danny Rose, Kyle Walker, Hugo Lloris was already there for Pochettino when he came in. I can keep going. You know what I mean? A lot of these players were already there for Pochettino. Okay. So, and this is the squad that we all say Pochettino got better out of. You know, Pochettino done this. So in hindsight, and you mentioned the players that he came in and were at the club and he came in. He did have a better squad to work with. Let's be honest.
I think when Pochettino first came in, he had a lot of guys. He was missing a lot of positions. I think this is a much more completed squad. I think this is a much more completed squad than what Poch had. Redknapp, I will agree with you. Maybe there's a debate. I think it's still close. AVB, no chance. AVB had a much worse squad. Even Tim Sherwood had a better record than them, but it's hard to compare. But Tim Sherwood definitely did not have a better squad than them. And those guys did more than them. And and also the other thing is, David, right? We also got to talk about, what do you say about Jose Mourinho? He's one of the best, right? He should be outperforming these managers. He should be, right?
But hang on. Yeah, I'm going to answer that. You're asking me the question. I'm going to answer it. So you're saying, okay, he should be outperforming these managers. But on the flip side, and let's be honest, how many times have we sit here and said a manager is only good as the squad he has to work with? So, you can throw out these sayings, but, there's also sayings to rebuke that. We need to talk facts and points here.
No, I'm talking about facts and points. And the facts is the squad that Mourinho has is not in quality, is not that far apart from what Pochettino first came with, Redknapp first came with, AVB first came with, Tim Wordshed first came with. And yet, by numbers, all those managers outperformed Jose Mourinho in their first season. All those managers, by numbers, they all outperformed him. And the quality is not...
What managers?
AVB, right? Pochettino, Redknapp. I won't say Tim Sherwood because he was only interim, and if you compare the amount of games compared to what Mourinho's had, I think that's a little bit unfair. So I'll just stick with those three. To be fair to Mourinho.
Okay, Redknapp better squad. AVB better squad. Pochettino better squad.
Oh, come off it, David.
No, just because he wasn't a good manager doesn't mean he didn't have the same squad between Poch and Redknapp. Just because... No. See, you're taking out of context. Just because AVB was a bad manager, he still had a good squad there. You know what I mean? And it's that simple. It's that simple. He has a better squad than what Jose Mourinho has to work with now. Go and ask any Tottenham fan, go on to Weird Tottenham TV and ask. Everyone's going to tell you the exact same.
I don't think
Mario
he did.
Escobar.
I think AVB had a worse squad. And I will say this. I think maybe Redknapp had a better squad. I can maybe agree with you. I can give you that. I think Pochettino, the squad quality was probably on par, if not less.
How can you say that though? Because he had Ericsson, he had Jan Vertonghen, he already had Danny Rose, Kyle Walker, Harry Kane was already there, Hugo Lloris was already there. The basis of his squad was already there.
Okay, you name 6 players. You name 6 players, right?
There's more there. There's more there. There's only 6 off the top of my head. It's only 6 off the top of my head. But there's definitely more there.
But Harry, he still, but can't. Okay, Mourinho has a prime Harry Kane, right? He has a prime Sonaldo. He has a prime, Endon Baller. He has a prime.
Well, Endon Baller, I wouldn't say prime Endon Baller, to be honest with you.
He has a prime Endon Baller. He also has, Lo Celso has been injured, but he has him now, right? Let's see what he does with them.
Marcelo, you can't say the players weren't good enough and then sit here and try and tell me the players are good enough. This is the thing. This is what we're getting at now. You sat here telling me these players aren't good enough, and that even though you know the players aren't good enough, you still want Jose Mourinho to go. But now you're sitting here trying to tell me they're good enough. You can't be doing this. This is the thing. I don't want to get bogged down in it.
No. I said I think the players, right, their mentality are not good enough. And I still stick by that. I think their mentality is not good enough.
But you've also said the players aren't good enough.
And I think some of these players are not good enough. Yeah, I agree with you. But I think Jose has enough quality to be beating Dynamo Zagreb. I'm sorry, Dave. Right. He just does. He just does.
Okay,
he has enough quality.
So Pochettino had enough quality to be beating Colchester. We can keep going down these roads all day.
But he got sacked for that. So you're proving my point.
I'm not proving your point.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You just said it. No. Yes, he did. He got sacked a couple games after Colchester. But
so it wasn't the Colchester game. So I'm not proving your point. I'm glad we established that.
No.
But what I will say is no, because you're sitting here saying all these other squads, are better than Jose's. It's not the truth.
You're clutching at straws.
It's not the truth.
You're telling me.
No, you're clutching at straws.
You're telling me.
You were trying to sit here a few minutes ago. Hang on, clutching at straws. So you were sitting here a few minutes ago. You were saying to me, Harry Redknapp's squad was worse than Mourinho's. And then a few minutes later, you sat there, when I named players, you sat there and you said, okay, well, that's not true. And now you're saying,
I never said it's not true.
I don't think so. No, I'm sorry, I don't think so.
It's on par.
We're going to move on because I have a lot more super chats to get through. This is what I want to avoid this Mourinho thing today. I clearly said this.
But no, you're doing something here that's a little bit tricky. You're just saying you're right, right? But
I'm not saying I'm right.
You're also putting words.
Don't put words in my mouth. I'm saying you're putting out my points why they shouldn't be sacked. And we're debating. There's no right or wrong.
But you're putting words in my mouth now, right? I said you were right. I never said you're right. I said maybe.
I didn't say you said I was right.
No.
I said that you said about
Redknapp. The quality between Redknapp's when he first came in and joined Tottenham, the quality of squad that he had was probably on par, if not worse, than what Jose had. Right? Same thing with Pochettino. Same thing with AVB. The quality between the squads that AVB was worse. I'm not admitting to that. AVB was worse. In my opinion, it was worse. So, in my opinion, the quality between those squads are not that different. And those managers who are supposed to be inferior to Mourinho somehow did better than him in their first season than what Mourinho has done this season. So, for me, in my opinion, that is an underachievement for Mourinho. For Mourinho's status, a manager that's known to be world renowned, come on now, David. To be underperforming against AVB.
Look, you have your opinion. You have your opinion. You think you're right. I have my opinion. I think I'm right. So we'll agree to disagree. We're just going to move on. I don't want to get bogged down in it. You know what I mean? And that's that. There's a lot of super chats I have to get through. There's already a lot that I haven't been able to get through that I've missed. So I do want to apologise to that. We have Mario Escobar, Marcelo, Jose Mourinho took Modric from Tottenham and had Van der Vaart at Real Madrid and beat the great Barcelona. We have Saurav Patnak, Marcelo, Jose needs Jose type of players for him to be successful. He only has Højbjerg. The comparison makes no sense, buddy. He needs his players. Do you want to say anything back to that before I grab up next few?
I mean, Jose, yeah, I mean, I guess there is such a thing as a Jose type player, but I mean, like, he also has to adapt a little himself. No, like isn't it part on him a little bit to adapt himself a little bit? I think he was a little bit too egotistical and arrogant to approach the squad the way he did, and I think he lost most of the dressing room because of this mentality. I think he needs, the times nowadays is just different, man, and you just got to accept it. You can't go saying, I play the way I want to play, you just listen to me and everything. That's how it was in football. Nowadays, even Claude said it. Remember when Claude was here? He said it. Now players
Look, I
control
like
the
Claude,
squad.
but I'm not going to go off what Claude says is the Bible either.
But I agree with Claude because for me, he's a guy that really understands football and understood the evolution of football. And you just got to catch up with the times, man. You can't. There is no such thing as this is just my way or the highway. It just doesn't exist anymore in football. You kind of have to adapt. He should have adapted
that's fair
a little
enough.
bit.
But at the end of the day, it is what's brought him success. Look,
past.
There is an element of truth to. So sometimes, look, you do need to adapt as well. Of course, as life goes on, things change. Even in regular life, technology becomes different. You need to adapt to the times a little. But look, at the end of the day, the basis of what brought him success, he's still trying to install it into Tottenham. And anyone that's successful, I don't think you really find them catering their needs to people. When I think you mind, I think you more so find in the case of people catering their needs for the person. We have Saurav Patak. No, I've already read that. We have Mario Escobar. I'll say this, lads. Marcelo's entitled to his opinion. Everyone has their opinion, whether we agree or not. We don't need to be getting into fights. There's no need for it. We're all Tottenham till we die, and that's it at the end of the day. Marcelo, I know you want to have your say, so I'm going to let you.
No. Look, listen. He wants to have me as a, call me flip flop. But David, more than anybody, I wanted this to succeed with Jose. I wanted this. No, I know that,
and I've maintained that. I have said that. You have backed him more than most.
And honestly, the way I backed him, David, it honestly would be easier for me to sit here and say I'm still defending this manager rather than, how much stick I've been getting from the Jose outers? Like, how much, what I mean, David, being one of his most adamant, backers, and then, just coming out and saying I'm wrong. You know how much stick I've gotten for that? It's just, I've gotten so much pie on my face. I might be, joining the Circus Soleil, man, because it's crazy. So, honestly, it's been harder for me to admit that I'm wrong than just.
One thing I do want to say is, look, I don't want anyone pie on their face. At the end of the day, we all say things and we all hope we're wrong. I said things about Harry Winks. Ultimately, I'd love to be proven wrong. You know what I mean? Look, everyone is entitled to their opinion. The squad is fighting. There's no need for any of us to be fighting. We're all friends. Everyone has their opinion. But look, lads, ease up on Marcelo. What I'm going to say is he's backed Jose more than what most people he has. He's given him a chance, and now he's come to the opinion he's come to, which is fair enough, lad.
I gave him an objective, and he failed my objective. So for me, there's no reason. For me, I just don't see it. If I don't see it, I'm just gonna say it. I say how it is.
That's 100% fair enough. Look, this is the great thing about football. It's all about opinions at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So,
which is quick. You need to eat.
I've these two super chats I need to get to, and then I'm bouncing out of here. And we have Will Stewart, THFC rants. Also, those managers have better players than Davies, Winks, Sissoko, Dyer, Current, Lamella, Doherty, Morris, Sanchez, Aria, etc. in those positions. All we have is Kane, Son, Reggie, Højbjerg, and Ndombele. Sorry, Marcelo. Look, it's a fair point. I think that's what I was trying to make over the course of it. Look, with me, I don't exactly get my things out clear, but that was genuinely what I was trying to say is I don't think we could compare them squads, but look, each to their own. We have Matthew Collins. He says, hi, David and Marcelo. How are you both? Yeah, no, look, we're not great. Tottenham are losing, and this is what kills us, man. It's absolutely killing us.
Tottenham are losing, and David and I can't agree, bro. The world is ending.
No, look, it's not ending. Like, the thing is, Marcelo, like, it's interesting when people don't agree. If we all sat here and agreed, it'd be a boring world.
It would be, yeah.
No? The fact that people have opinions and it opens up different people's minds and stuff like that, that's what it's about. Like, when me and you have our debates, that's what it's about. Like, but I think some people take it as fighting rather than passion. You know what I mean? And I genuinely do think that can be misconstrued. Like, I have so much passion,
Yeah.
you have so much passion. When you have two people who have so much passion, if they don't fancy each other, well, then the passion is going to come across and look like a rivalry, even though it's not that. I want to make that clear. Me and Marcelo are not rivals. I don't know why people think this lately, but we're not rivals.
Yeah.
Let's make that one thing clear, lads.
Yeah. Everybody
Matthew
was saying, oh my God, are Marcelo and David never gonna do a video again? You know, I got a bunch of messages. And I'm like, bro, David and I are fine. You know, we just disagree. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Like, Marcelo, I don't get it. Like, you're allowed to disagreement. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to agree on everything. You know what I mean? And that's that at the end. We have where's it gone? This is the last one before I end off. I think it was Mario Escobar. Was it? I think it was him that said I missed his. Darren Kiriakou, the Irish Hotspur. You missed my super chat for Marcelo above. No, look, there was a few super chats that honestly, I'm sorry, lads, I couldn't get to. They expired by the time I was able to get to them. But Danny, put your comment in below. We'll take that, and then we're bouncing out here. Because honestly, lads, I am absolutely marvelous. I'm not going to lie. I am
for 10 minutes. Yeah, we're only supposed to be for 10 minutes.
Kiriakou, just get your comment in there, and we'll get it up, my man.
This is the effect that David and I have when we're both in the room. We just get talking, you know. Time goes by fast, huh?
Yeah, stop, lad. It goes by fast, all right.
What do you have for food?
No, man.
If you mind asking.
Is he in? Is it in?
No, I haven't seen it. Oh no. He did. Can
you see it?
Is that him? No, that's not
Danny Kiriakou.
Jordan. Yeah, but Jordan Stevens. He came in with the. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jordan. Yeah, no, it was a belter of the show.
It was a
absolute belter of the show. Some great debates. But the best thing about these debates, it opens people's mind. It gives loads of people different perspectives and everything else. And that's what it's about. What I'll say is there's just as many people that agree with Marcelo and just as many people that agree with me. That's life. It's going to happen. You know what I mean?
To be honest, David, I got to say, bro, I got to big up you because I'm not going to lie, like the amount of Jose outers out there, you know, it's insane, man. I've never seen, you know, a fan base. I will admit, like, partly I think it is an agenda. For me, it's not an agenda against the guy, but I would say some of it is still an agenda. Like, I see pictures of like, oh, Jose ruined Bergwijn. I'm like, how do you ruin Bergwijn, man? Bergwijn can't score, you know, if it's in his life. You know, this is just ridiculous. But
here's this super chat, Marcelo. Here's what he was supposed to say. That's cool. It was about Jose. When Marcelo said about Jose losing players, I said, which players are they? The donkeys chat need to leave it. Those players, the donkeys that need to leave. It's those players. So the question is,
who I think.
Yeah, what players do you think he's lost? I think is the question.
Well, I already told you, Bar, Kane, Son, Højbjerg, Reguilon, and even maybe Hugo. But you know, I don't even take Hugo's one too much because he's leaving anyway, so he doesn't really give a shit. You know, he's just gonna. You know, it's not a coincidence. Trippier and Hugo are saying these things now when they're gonna leave the club. Yeah. So for me, I'm not even gonna put Hugo in there. I honestly, I would say of those four players, I think the rest don't really care. To be honest, too much from in my opinion.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And one thing I do want to stop as well is, I catch myself doing it. I want to stop this in my opinion. Same when people are saying stuff to me, let's just cut it out. We know it's an opinion, and I'm guilty of saying it myself. You know what I mean? We don't need to be saying it's my opinion. I understand, look, no matter what you put up on Twitter nowadays, people get hammered and it's a force of habit. It's my opinion. But look, over here on the Irish Hotspur, we don't need to do that. Everyone's opinion is valid. Matthew Collins, he says, David, how on earth did you put up with that Alex on Chris Cowan's show? No, look, as much as I don't agree with what Alex says, he doesn't agree with what I said. But I like Alex, and this is another thing I want to get across. I like Alex. Me and Alex have good respect for each other, and we have good fun, and we have a good laugh. You know, look, each to their own. You know what I mean? Look, sometimes it is what it is. Alex is a good guy. That's all I'm going to say to people. I find him funny.
I question his football opinion sometimes, though. Even though I guess
No,
we're
look,
both
you can't,
Jose
you can't.
outers.
But
Yeah.
again,
Even though we're both
he
Jose
sits there and
outers,
he completely believes he's right as well. So
yeah,
it is what it
fair
is. Like
enough.
me,
So.
like you, like anybody. You know what I mean? We
I
all
will
think
say
we're
this.
right.
I
So
will say this, David. If you gave me the option, right, and this wasn't a reality, this was just a fantasy, right, and you're like,
yeah,
Dave, Marcelo, I have become a wizard. I can grant you one wish. Would you rather keep Jose and sack Enoch and get Jeff Bezos? Or would you rather sack Jose, get like, I don't know, a new manager like a Nagelsmann, Ten Hag, or whatever, right? And keep Enoch? I would choose that first one. Sack Enoch, get Jeff
yeah,
Bezos in, and you know what I mean? Like, trust me, I still know what the real problem of the squad is. It's just that I'm just taking a realistic approach from it. In my view, I just don't realistically see this working out with
yeah. No,
Jose.
look. There is every case to argue that. Every single case to argue that.
But I can't see your
Um,
case. Honestly, I can't see your case for keeping Jose. You know, I think it would be the tougher thing to do. You know, it would be the tougher thing to do to keep Jose and try to give him those years. But from also what I've seen, it never gets better with Jose, doesn't it? You know what I mean? When things starts going bad for him, he really takes it to heart. You know, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough situation, honestly, man. This club, you know, it's like you said, we are in a shit storm, man. I remember when
yeah,
you said the thing with Chris, with you know Chris Wood. You know, we are in a very tough predicament where I don't even know our owners know what to do.
no. But you know what, Marcelo? I was just thinking there. I put all this on the owners, no matter what, no matter
Yeah,
whether people want
I
to blame
agree.
the manager, whether people want to back the manager, whatever. The reason why this debate is still sparking on, and I'm going to be honest, is because the board either need to come out and say, look, I can get what fans are saying, but Jaws is here for the long term. This is the rebuild. So then it shuts up that debate and we can concentrate on what we need to do, right?
Yeah,
Or else need to come out and say, look, you know, he loses tomorrow, he's gone. They need to
yeah,
do something. They can't hide behind him like the
yeah,
players are
yeah.
as well.
It's
Everyone
all
at the whole
rumors.
club is
Yeah,
hiding behind him, and they're
yeah,
too comfortable to do it because they know he's a polarizing figure, and
yeah.
that's the problem. But
They're
look, I, I,
creating.
I
They're
do want to
creating.
end
Yeah,
off there.
yeah. Go.
Marcelo,
Yeah.
have you anything else you'd like to say to anybody before we finish?
No, no, no. Jose, listen. Oh, good luck to Jose and you know Tottenham against Aston Villa. I hope we win. Obviously, never gonna cheer against my team. I am gonna go for a 1-1 draw. Never say we're gonna lose, but I don't think we're gonna win. And you know, listen. I hope I'm wrong and he turns it around. And come on, you Spurs. And you know, I'm sad, man. You know, I've never stressed in my life, you know, since sophomore
Yeah,
year in college. And I honestly, I've been eating cookies and, you know, ice cream nonstop since that Dynamo loss. Honestly, this is as hurt as I've been in a while, David. I'm not going to lie. But thank
yeah.
you, man. I
Look,
love you,
I'm the
bro.
same, man. I'm as stressed and as tired as you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We all are. We all are, especially because the hours we put in doing the content, and like you know, we can't just forget about the game. You have to do the content, and you don't want to do
Yeah.
it. You know, look,
Yeah.
it's a stressful. But I just want to leave everybody. Actually, who's that? Your man that put in the super chat for the players and that. Just hit me up on Twitter. But also quickly before I go, just leave a message in the chat so that I can get in contact with you about getting the ex-players and stuff like that. But look, I do want to leave you in the words of Harry Kane Twitter post. So it's time to bounce back tomorrow after a very disappointing week. No words will atone for the last two games. We just have to show our response on this pitch. And in the words of Jose Mourinho, when asked what he expects from the Villa game tomorrow, that's the same question as after the game against Arsenal, and I didn't see it against Zagreb. What I wanted to see, so it's hard to say, because I was expecting a completely different attitude, and we didn't get that. Obviously, what I want against Aston Villa, I want all the ingredients. They are what I consider basics of an honest professional. The basics of any job is honesty, the commitment, and the desire. The respect for people who require you to do good work. That's what I expect to have every day, every match, and I want to see everything what these people are saying on that field tomorrow. Couldn't give a shit about coming out saying anything to the papers. Couldn't give one flying iota about anything in the papers.
You know what's the saddest thing, David? That's a great quote. but to me, it literally means nothing until like I see some change. I'm gotten to a point where they can honestly say like, we're gonna come out like roaring lions, and somehow they,
Yeah.
lose 3-0.
Tottenham Tigers were rocking up in Zagreb, and we got the Cubs.
For
You know
them,
what I mean?
For them, they have let me down so many times, and I'm sorry, David. Their words are empty to me. Honestly, these
No, I
players'
know,
words
I
are
know.
empty to me.
Look, Marcelo, they're as empty as to me, but the reason why I read them out is because I'm not letting them away with this anymore. I will read them out again after the game if we lose. And I'm going to say, but this is what we were told was coming. So don't worry about that. I have a plan. I'm not just reading them out for the sake of reading them out.
No, I know,
I'm reading them out to let people know what these people are saying, especially if we come and lose. But lads, honestly, big up Charlie for coming on. Big up Lily White Lane for coming on. Get over, check out the channel, smash a like and a subscribe. If you've enjoyed this stream, smash a like on it, smash the subscribe button. Also, before Wednesday, grab your channel memberships for the call-in show where you dictate what we talk about. I want to say also a big massive thank you to everybody for the super chats. You're absolutely all heroes. Like I said, I really appreciate it. I couldn't take this channel anywhere without you guys. So thank you so much. And I really want to say a big special thank you to Marcelo for coming on. I really do appreciate it, my man. And look, I'm going to go Tottenham 2-1 tomorrow. That's just the Spurs fan in me. I always want to believe. So look, in Jose we trust. And come on, you Spurs.